Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live early for the Catteral versus Eubank fight that I was originally going to do the co-main event and the main event, but I'm just stepping in on the Fiaz versus Murphy fight, which has been an action-packed fight through and through. The only regret is I wish I would have done it a lot sooner because this has been a very good fight. One thing about fighters, I can appreciate back and forth action. This kind of reminds me of a mini Callum Smith versus Buatsi in a sense, because both of these guys are throwing bombs, even though Murphy's a little bit more accurate, but Fias is a harder puncher, so I definitely appreciate the action packed back and forth between the two fighters before the co-main and, of course, the main event of the night. Counterpunch to everybody. This is past the prelim, so I'm just here early. So the early bird is here, and I am counterpunching, and I am near. Bars. How's everybody doing today? CJ Rich Murphy not using his length. No tutti frutti. Yeah, I think you got to say, CJ Rich, you got to say pause. Murphy's not using his length. And I think it's sad that we get to that point where everyone's mind is so far in the gutter to the point where you got to say stuff like that. I mean, we know what length means. When you talk about length and reach in boxing, we're talking about arm length. We're not talking about somebody's privates of private. We're not talking about any sexual stuff. We're talking about fighting. You know what I'm saying? Shit, the only bromance is happening in the ring when they're knuckling up. You know what I'm saying? Mikhail, counterpunch to you. Mikhail in the building, people. Murphy did land a couple good shots then. He better be careful, though, and I do agree with you, CJ. He's not using his reach. He's taller, definitely taller, and he's leaning in to take the shots and to give up his leverage to Fiaz. And Fiaz is loving it when he can get off. And I think he's the bigger puncher. It's just Murphy has a good chin. So it's crazy. I think Murphy's chin is better than Fiaz's, but Fiaz hits harder. So it's a great little equation. Murphy can take it, but Murphy can't ditch it out, but he's ditching out more of what he's ditching out. So he's not the powerhouse fighter. He's not the puncher in there, but he's actually landing the most shots. So, yeah, I was just having fun with it. I know. It's all good. It's all good. And I do the same thing. Arizism in the building. What's up, Kurt? Hope all is well, much love. Everything is good, man. Everything is good. Good left and a right, chopping left and a chopping right from Fiaz. Yeah, Murphy should let this go because this is 10 of 10. Anything can happen. Oh, good left hook. Good left hook from Fiaz. And see, Murphy's still leaning in. And now, Mount Fiaz, look at that left hook. He's just waiting. He's waiting. Left hook lands again. See, Murphy's back. He's throwing shots, but the more he throws, the more opportunity that he's given Fiaz. And Fiaz is like, you know what? Come on, let's go with it. Left hook lands again. Murphy's tough, though. I think Murphy has a chin. A lot of things have been revealed to me as I studied certain fighters that we didn't really know a lot about. Oh, good left hook. Oh, that hurt him. And at the end of the round, Fiaz buckled him. Great fight. Thomas, they say, counterpunch to you. What's up? Lee Foster, Kurt, who's fighting? Fiaz and Murphy just finished fighting. Good fight, man. I think they're light welterweights. I got to tell you guys, man, down here in Texas, it's been so bad. Like the weather has been like atrocious. We had a right hand landed. I don't know, man. I know that last round, you got to give it to Fiaz with those solid shots that he was landing. And he landed maybe a dozen and a half. And I mean, they were like, bow, bow, bow. It's crazy. He took a shot right to the forehead. Yeah, Murphy's just throwing shots. Murphy reminds me of Paul Williams. You know what I mean? Tall, rangy, but wants to fight on the inside. You know, yeah, he almost dropped him, CJ. He definitely almost dropped him. Counterpunch to you. Almost dropped him. Ash Bar in the building. I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing great. I am doing fantastic. I'm just really interested to see how this is going to go. You know, he's in the corner of Dave Allen. Dave Allen's there. Bro, I seen Dave Allen the other day. Dave Allen is like, he's like one of those guys that he reminds me of. I mean, good guy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Dave Allen. I always like the White Rhino. I mean, his personality. He has character, right? But the dude, he's not like he is not. He does not take that shit seriously. When he wins, especially he's won a couple. He just knocked out Fisher. Johnny Fisher got to take a couple steps back to see where he's going to be. Well, you can say now he was outside. You know what I mean? Probably in his backyard, and he was just shadow boxing. He was just shadow boxing. So he was in there, bro. Belly just hanging. And I'm like, ugh, yeah. I mean, hanging, bro. Oh, so let's see. I don't know because I don't know these guys, you know, and that's the beauty of seeing prelims, you know, undercard fights. We get educated in the up and coming possible fighters of the future. Jay Roos in the building. Everybody subscribe to Jay Roos's theory. What's up, Jay Roos? Counterpunch to you. Let's see what happens. Huh. Unanimous. Okay. Okay, Fias gets it. I mean, he landed the bigger shots. You know, I mean, especially down the stretch. Murphy threw and he was busy, but see, sometimes busy don't mean that you're impressing the judges because I think it's all about the judges. I think the judges are first, then the audience, then the corner. Because if the judges, and I think the audience is second based on the fact that they're able to persuade the judges. So if someone, you know, gets oh, and everybody just goes ape shit when an uppercut or a left hook or overhand right lands and it lands flush, and you know the crowd of the crowd goes crazy and it's like, oh snap, right? That influences the judges. So the judges hear that shit and they're like, oh, wait a minute. 10-9, right? And because you know, and it could happen, bro. When you're in an environment, you can't tell me unless because you don't see those judges with no type of headgear on or anything like that. They are around the experience. They're right there. They get sweat or blood or saliva or semen. Just kidding. They get all that shot at them when a punch lands. When a contact from a punch lands from one fighter to another, or when they're exchanging, they're absorbing all the fluids. They're their first hand. So if they're their first hand, they're aware of what's going on around them and they're influenced of what's going on around them. Well, what's going on around you? Life. Life is going on around you. The experience is going on around you. You're getting hit with you're hearing shots and you're hearing the expressions from the shots, how the people are responding to this shit. They're responding to these shots. Bow. Ooh. Bow. He's hurt. He's hurt. So yeah, we've had bad weather here, dude. It's had flash flood warnings all yesterday, all today. That was the right decision. I only seen it from round 6 on, so I don't know. I can't make that decision because I don't know how Murphy did the first 6 rounds. So it is what it is, honestly. But no, I do think that that was a very good fight, very good action-packed fight. They normally favor the one who pushes the fight. Where is KD? It's crazy. I kid you not. Nobody knows that I'm live because you see the little icon that you see. Nobody, you don't see that anywhere. That's nowhere. Let me see if it's on others. Okay, cool. That's it. All right. All right, cool. Well, but no, action-packed fight. But back to what I was saying, man. Those judges are influenced by the audience. They have to be because they're in there with them. They're sitting down and they're experiencing it, just like we're watching it from the television. They're there live, so you can't tell me they're not influenced by the audience. You know what I mean? So if you got a hometown boy that's action-packed, that's throwing punches and bunches, that he's throwing the harder shots, that's pressing the action, he may be getting outpointed or outboxed. It doesn't really matter because once that comes along, let me put on some air. Jesus. Once a shot is landed, Christopher Spurry, Kurt, who you got? I don't know. I don't have a pony in the show. I can tell you this. Um, Eubank, I haven't seen him fight, so I have no idea. I know he's related. He's a relative of the Eubanks. He's a Eubank. You need more wrenches, homie. These dudes gonna be wilding later on, especially next weekend. Mm, mm. That makes sense. That makes sense. Unfortunately, from this platform, I can't add you, but I'll add you next time. Just remind me, CJ. Butt hurt. Is that lemonade, Kurt? Nah, nah, nah. This is proper 12. So Saturday, 4th of July. Didn't do anything yesterday. I mean, the rain, bro. It's been raining bad out here. It's just a constant rain, flash floods and all that stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, CJ, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. I got you. So just remind me next time. Just hit me with that wrench icon and the question mark. He say butthurt is a crazy name. Yeah, it is a crazy name. I ain't gonna lie. It's very unique there. But no, I mean Catteral. Catteral didn't surprise me his last fight, man. I thought Catteral was going to do a lot better. You know what I mean? And he didn't. Oh, but next week it's more fighting, bro. We have Siraj versus Balanga next week. Sapeta versus Stevenson next week. All on the zone, baby. All on the zone over here. So it is what it is. I'm bringing the pain. Oh God. So is it butt hurt or you make butts hurt? Triple G did an interview and said Canelo's punches felt like slaps. Jay Rouge, you know what I heard that last week. You know, think about it. Triple G has one of the best chins I've ever witnessed on a fighter. I mean, he's in the top. And like you have to put him above a lot of current fighters because there was not a time, well, Triple G started to decline with his durability. With his ability to take punches, that shield that he calls a chin, you know what I mean? He was still able to get it in, right? Those punches, bro, when you hit Triple G, Canelo threw a shot and landed. I can't remember. It was eighth round, ninth round of their first fight. And Canelo winded this shot up. And he winded. It's like, bow! And he hit Triple G. Triple G took it and kept, it was like, bow! Okay, what else you got? And I was like, oh, shit. And even Canelo was like, oh, man, this dude got a chin like a Iron Drago bronze statue, you know? Ninth round. It was the ninth round. I know, you know what I mean? I knew it was one of those rounds, bro, where Canelo landed and he landed and he scored big on Golovkin and it didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? It was just like, so couldn't be any drier here in Sacramento. Y'all need some of this shit. I mean, flash floods, people's cars flooding, and I'm in an area that actually knows the flood. It's bad, man. It's bad. But no, back to Catteral. Jack, I was not impressed in this last fight. I wasn't. Crawford will stop Canelo. That's crazy. You know, what's sad though? That's a bold statement. It really is a bold statement. But you know what's sad about that? If Crawford stops Canelo, Canelo will be put in a circle with Errol Spence, with Sean Porter, with Yoriokis Gamboa. He'll be put in that same circle. He'll be put in the same circle simply based off the fact that people won't be able to give or to really to give credit to Crawford, sure, but they won't be able to fathom why Canelo did that. It has to be some other reason besides Crawford is that good and that great. And see, all this time, people talk shit about Floyd. You guys hear me talk stuff about Floyd, but I keep it 50-50 because I do know the same reason I hate on Floyd should be some of the other reasons I should love Floyd and give him his props. When Floyd's ass was around, see, Floyd was beating dudes and he was making it look easily and he didn't have to knock them out. He did it and people cringed because they couldn't figure Floyd out. It was just, listen, Floyd, if you guys ever noticed that everybody talks about Canelo's neck and Katie Taylor's neck, have you noticed the neck on Floyd Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather has a solid ass neck, bro. That dude does not skip training. He does 400 sit-ups. I used to do that shit, people. I used to do that shit every morning. 400 rocking chair sit-ups, 400 jumping jacks, 100 push-ups. I used to do that shit every other morning. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, and some Saturdays, I'm in the dojo, or I'm in the gym, then the dojo. I was an absolute beast, bro. 10 years ago, give or take. But nonetheless, Floyd has a neck on him. He has a solid neck, bro. He ain't no little bird pigeon neck ass dude that gets hit and he's out. No, his tendons are well defined due to athletic repetitiveness, right? So he can take shots, and Floyd was just that good. But then Floyd didn't knock out guys. Shit, Terrence is stopping people, and he still ain't getting the credit. So if he stopped Canelo, you know what they're gonna say? Oh, he got old overnight. Oh, Canelo got old overnight, and then in the same term, not realize that Crawford is 38 or 37. Quad Life in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Floyd deflected Canelo shots. 10 years ago was my physical peak. 240s feel different. Bro, they do. I ain't gonna lie, but here's the crazy thing. We talking that shit now. Be blessed. You guys know what I do. Let me share something personal with you guys. I say a prayer after working out of being thankful. Like, hey, thank you, God, for a good workout or just a workout. Because if you imagine, I'm 45. Like me, I'm 45. I don't know about those other like blue blood and them. I think they're a little older, but like me, showbiz, we're like showbiz is 44. I'm 45. We're a year apart. Well, think about how you have to be wise enough not to do shit like this every day and pick and choose when and when not to go to the gym, when to rest, when not to rest. You have to know when to do certain things because you can't do it in excess like you used to because your ass is going to be sore. And understand, here's the real deal. Performance enhancing drugs are for the older, or it should be. Yeah. Because imagine in 20 years, you won't be able to do any of this shit. It's going to be more of a challenge for you to get up and get in there and really get it in and go to the gym and come out of that bitch. You're going to come out of that motherfucker feeling like, oh man. Unless you're in shape. Unless you're in shape. You know what I mean? That's why I respect guys like Vladimir Klitschko, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sly Stallone. But I'm one of those guys. I'm kind of, if I get old, I'm still going to go to the gym. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be that dude in the hospital like, oh, that was a great workout. Oh, on the gurney. Oh, it was a good workout. Need surgery. Wow, I pray at the end too also before. Nah, I don't pray before, but I do pray after. Definitely, bro. Jay, what's good? How's the stream? Man, the stream's cool. Nice, small, and smooth. Great. Because you never know, based on the last couple years, really last year, I started with knee problems, and so logic tells you still need to start working, strengthening your legs, your back, losing weight. You don't need all that damn weight anymore. What you need it for? You know what I mean? Unless you got big chicks at the house. What do you think about Fury's return in his trilogy with Usyk? Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. It's expected that he's coming back to the sport, but it's not really something that I look forward to. I think, that being said, it's more of the same shit from Tyson. Tyson's trying to reinvent himself by doing the same old shit, which I think is kind of lame because I'm not even happy that he's back no more because nobody really knew that he left. So here's the thing, in order to make that work, you have to convince people that you actually retired. I thought that he would come out of retirement after the outcome of Usyk and Dubois too, but he did it before, and it's kind of weird. It's like you're talking about fighting Usyk for the third time, and Usyk has a fight before you, so it's crazy. Oh, Isaac in the building. Kurt, what do you think about the Cepeda versus Stevenson matchup, the defense master versus the volume punching master? A nightmare, a scorecard nightmare from Hades. That's what I think about that. That it kind of puts you in the mind of De La Hoya, Whitaker, and that fight stunk. Those guys did not complete their styles. De La Hoya was trying to convince the audience that he was winning by his body language and the shit he did, like, the thing, ding, ding. He was like, oh, what the hell does that mean? Oscar, you that happy that you had another mediocre round? Then I started learning the promos and the techniques and the tactics that people started using in order to convince other people that they are the winners, that they are positive, that they are confident about the performance that they're giving at the time. So they're like, yeah, they raise their hand after that round's over. Yeah, Mikey Garcia did that all the time. Remember Mikey Garcia be like, got that one, yeah, got that round, you know, time, you know. So look at the judges. Should Wilder retire after the Herndon performance? Took 7 rounds to get him out of there. Wasn't even a clean KO either. Herndon ate a lot of Wilder's shots. Nah, I think I give Wilder what I give everybody else. I'm not discriminating against Wilder because for one, if you notice, Wilder don't have that protection plan. He doesn't have that entourage. He doesn't have that uh, support he used to. If you noticed, he doesn't have it. I mean, bro, with Wilder, you had Boxing Ego, Dante's Boxing Nation, Aki, Blue Blood, you had 78, you had Fanon, you had all them other LDBC channels that I don't even know nothing about. You had all those. Now you don't. You still have like guys like Bonafide, like the General. You still have what's my guy name? 78. You got 78 Sports TV still. He gets the exclusive from Wilder and stuff like that. But really, you don't hear a lot of people praising him like they used to. So like, especially when you don't have the people that made other people can't stand you. See, one thing about Wilder said a lot of things, but he had help. One thing worse than a fighter is their fans. And see, if you had fans that were obnoxious, that's going to make you dislike the fighter. And it shouldn't be that way, but I mean, they represent the fighter based on how they act. It reminds me of the Pac-Tards. And I love Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao came through after Floyd temporarily, quote unquote, retired and just took, the light weight division, junior welterweight division, and edited welterweight division by storm. So, XK Shots, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Canelo fans are crazy, most of them anyway. I don't really hear a lot about them anymore. I used to hear a lot about Canelo fans back in the day. I don't hear a lot about them now because, the Triple G fights are over and the Floyd fights are in the can. We don't hear a lot about that, So there you go with that. True, Wilder has lost a lot of his popularity and a few supporters left based on his downfall ever since the Fury trilogy. And you know what's sad about it? They should have actually started praising him. But I think they left him based on the fact that not because he had heart, not because he had power, not because he showed people that he was willing to die in the ring, and that's why they should have supported him in the first fucking place. They left him because they knew the truth. They knew that Tyson Fury didn't cheat Wilder. Tyson Fury was able to hurt Wilder. Tyson Fury was nothing they painted him to be. And it hurt them to be wrong. That's why they left Wilder. So that just goes to show you they weren't really a true fan or supporter of Wilder. Like I was buying his damn fights, buying his merch. You know what I mean? Making videos, supporting Wilder to this day. They weren't those people. They just pretended to be. Actually, they were racist. They were people that pretended that they cared for Wilder, but they used Wilder as a tool for their own racism, for their own personal agenda. They didn't give a shit about Wilder. They just wanted to say, hey, this white guy cheated on this black guy and nobody said anything about it. That was the whole narrative. It wasn't about boxing at all, probably. Because a lot of those people didn't even watch, like Young Pharaoh. Oh, fucker, did you even watch boxing before that fight? When Wilder got starched before COVID, right before COVID hit. But he had a video and a live, didn't he? Revving everybody up. I remember that, bro. making everybody all sensitive. And then it didn't help when what's my man's name got choked to death, suffocated to death by the cop up there in Minnesota. All that happened at the same time, so everybody really got sensitive. Dark Side of the Moon. Hey Kurt, hope everyone is good. If Fury wants to come back, and he should have a mid comeback, then fight AJ, then add Meanwhile Parker, and then I get their shots. He's not going to do that because Tyson Fury is an egotistical prick. He's wrong for what he's doing. He ain't caring about his friend Joseph Parker getting his shot. If he would have thought so. Hell, Joshua was even able to acknowledge the fact that Joseph Parker deserves the opportunity over himself. So he put someone else over himself over his possible opportunities. Tyson Fury ain't said or mentioned none of that shit because he doesn't care about nobody else but himself. I'm just speaking the facts because what people don't realize is Joseph Parker should have had some type of title shot. He should have had it back in February. The biggest fight card in boxing history, right? He should have got his opportunity, but he didn't get his opportunity. So now that Usyk is fighting Danny Dubois, he's coming back saying, "Oh well, I'm gonna fight Usyk." They're not understanding, like, hey, first I'll let Joseph Parker fight. No, he doesn't care about that. And the only question I have is, well, damn, bro, why'd you retire in the first place then? If you knew you were just gonna come back, you know, he's evil. He's either that egotistical or that undecided, indecisive. That's the word for him. So if he's that indecisive, shit, you know, that's why people can't stand him. I'm quitting. I'm retiring from boxing. Tyson Fury reminds me of an old drunk. If people don't know what an old drunk personality is, someone that their attitude changes just like that, their decisions change just like that. A drunk, somebody that drinks a lot, that just makes sporadic decisions based on how they feel at the time. That's Tyson Fury. He reminds me of an old drunk, a person that sits there and they drink and they drink and they drink in excess, and then make decisions based on how they feel at the time. Because he's making too many decisions. He hasn't thought thoroughly, soberly about a particular situation, about a particular issue, his career. You know, he hasn't thought long about it before making a decision. He just does it, just like a drunk. Bipolar, I guess. I don't know, but he may be. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are bipolar. I don't know. I think what happens, people. Great point, Isaac. I think what happens with people that have minor disorders, I think there's something else bothering them or affecting that disorder to go up or down, you know, to soar or to decline. In other words, if Tyson Fury is bipolar and he drinks, don't you think that substance, that flesh-eating spirit, that liquor, that oil, that 710, whatever he's drinking, don't you think or don't you feel that may influence the bipolar disorder in his brain? I think it affects it more if you do drink versus if you don't. I think the sober Tyson is, the sober he can make decisions. He may be a bit bipolar. You know, his chemical balance may be off, but don't you think if he gets drunk and takes a bottle of proper 12 down his chest, don't you think that may affect the rest? That may shift that his chemical imbalance in his brain to have him thinking stupid, especially when he's drunk, right? Again, like an old drunk. So if you sit there and you drink and you know you have some type of issue, true story. I got a brother. I'm not saying his name. I got many brothers. I got 4 or 5 brothers. But I got a brother that was married to a chick that She would do crazy shit, like stupid stuff, like stuff you made it like some Beloved type shit. You know what I mean? If you guys ever seen Beloved, like that type of stuff, like what's wrong with her? And what we didn't know was she was schizophrenic, bipolar. Yeah, she was diagnosed schizophrenic bipolar, and she was supposed to have been on medication, but her substitute, because she wasn't taking the medication, was alcohol, weed, and pills, and all that type of recreational bullshit. So therefore, she was really off the chain. I watched Wallen Chisora earlier today. Wallen is awful, but he beat up a complacent Fury. No, Fury beat Wallen, bro. I mean, we can talk about the technicalities of what should have happened, but it didn't happen because it's Tyson Fury. It was his show. He was new to ESPN. They had signed an 80 million pound contract with Tyson Fury. So Tyson wasn't going anywhere, and he sure wasn't going to go anywhere due to that damn cut. I'm sorry. The difference between him and Vitali was a mandatory. He was not the champ. He was not the house fighter. He was not the A side. So they did what they did, and they do what they normally do. They go by the rules. But there are exceptions to the rules when it comes to the A side fighter. They get concessions, you know, those added exceptions. Bars. It's politics. Dale Osho. Hey, Kurt, live from Lagos, Nigeria in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. I mean, he was in a tough fight with Otto Weiland, but Otto Weiland used what he had. He had a guy that had two cut vajayjays on his eyelid. Yeah, you heard that right. He had two bloody vajayjays on his eye. One little one, one bigger one. Yeah. So I mean, he was smearing that shit in there. He was smearing that, because you notice Otto Weiland, every chance he got, he was putting his hand, you know what I mean, smearing those cuts, making those cuts worse. Definitely making those cuts worse, bro. Do you think Tyson Fury is still on coke, or did he stop? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. It because I just know he's done it. He's admitted to doing it. He failed a drug test to it. I think he was on it the night Joe Joyce beat up Joseph Parker. He was coked out of his mind. Monday is the deadline. He was high. I said, Fury, you coked up, dude. You know, because his mouth couldn't keep still. You had two things. I remember in my 20s, this was bad. Coke was real bad, especially in Miami, all through the South. Coke was bad, and ecstasy was bad. And the thing is, both of them will give you similar signs, but it's what to look for, right? You sign somebody like on ecstasy, because Bobby Browns and Blue Dolphins and all these different types of party drugs that people had. People go to the club, and you see most people on X, they jaws locked. Coke, they're more. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with you, dude? You good? More. You know what I mean? They can't get their words out. Their nervous system, their nervous system, and their whole setups is shocked by this drug. And you're watching them. Certain things you look for. With certain narcotics. And Tyson Fury, I don't think he was popping pills, because he wasn't like that. Why would you pop a pill at a damn boxing event? You wouldn't do that. Kurt, Leo Tang is really good heavyweight. Yeah, heard of Leo. He's like the AJ replacement. Once a cokehead, always a cokehead. Fury can go crap in a bucket. Mm. I thought that was once a crackhead, always a crackhead. But then, some people don't see it as anything different, which, I mean, they're all equally bad because, unless you're rubbing that shit on a wound. Yeah, I mean, because that's what it's supposed to be for people. It's a drug, and I think each drug on this planet, especially something as natural as the poppy plant, was supposed to be used for something else. It wasn't to sniff up your nasal passages and make you high. No, it was supposed to either numb you during operation or surgeries or or pain relief. It wasn't to smoke, wasn't to snort, wasn't to shoot. It was to rub. It wasn't never supposed to be injected internally. Well, I think that was supposed to be an external thing. Like, so if you're hurting some village kid, the umbral, I mean, and they rub a little bit on it or whatever, because that's where it's grown at in those regions, right? But keep in mind, ayahuasca comes from a damn plant, so there you go. It's a look like Baby Miller is begging for a fight. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think he's done a lot of things lately. He's talked a lot. Yeah, I do agree. And he pretty much just got counterpunched because people told him about himself. Derek Chisora don't care who you are, and Derek Chisora has enough like he has enough stripes and enough juice. You know what I mean? Enough respect to tell Jarrell Miller what he needed to tell Jarrell Miller without Jarrell Miller lashing back or deflecting in a negative way. You know what I mean? It takes someone like Derek Chisora to tell someone like Jarrell Miller, like, hey, listen to me. This is how it's done. This is what I feel about you. This is what you did wrong. And now own it. And that's what Derek Chisora did. So it was a very interesting few videos that I did catch. I did videos on it, though, because I thought it was interesting. But yeah, the Fabio Wardley fight, the Derek Chisora fight, he did pull out of those fights, bro. So see, if Jarrell Miller doesn't get a prime fight, yes, AJ ducked him because AJ don't want to fight him. Eddie Hearn don't want AJ to fight him. Deontay don't want to fight him because he knows if he fights someone like Jarrell Miller and loses, he's finished. Do you think Wilder would get another fight if he lost to Jarrell Miller? Jarrell Miller is he's in the circle of people that can possibly do something, but he needs an opportunity and he needs an opponent for that excelled opportunity. So if you think Jarrell Miller fought Wilder and knocked Wilder's ass out, bro, do you know how bad that would be for Wilder? Wilder needs you to just go back to Alabama or Atlanta or wherever the hell he is, sell his house in LA because he ain't going to be able to afford it, right? And go back to Tuscaloosa and buy him a house there and chill. Why? Because he won't be marketable if he gets beat by Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller, bro, if he gets beat by Jarrell Miller is going to tell people, I told y'all, I told you, little too thick leg, stanky, ugly ass Wilder, he can't bang no more. I told you I was going to knock him out. He worse than fish and chips. He worse than Apple Jacks. He worse than Big Pussy Anderson. So he's gonna talk so much about him, and he will never be the same. He'll be another Ja Rule to 50 Cent. It would keep Miller's name in the headlines. I mean, if he beat Wilder, it would see. Then therefore, there will be no opportunity for Wilder to ever fight AJ. Then it's only Miller left. So then, if AJ picks the fight with Anderson. Oh, people are going to blow him out of the water. Jarrell doesn't even have to spit it, which he will spit it. He will say something. He will counterpunch. He will retaliate verbally. But he won't have to do that. The people will do that because they're going to be like, okay, Jarrell beat Wilder and we wanted you to fight him at some point. Jarrell took care of him for you. But then yet you're fighting Anderson. Anderson ain't been right since McCauley got him. So the only thing AJ could do is to redeem himself, is fight McCauley, fight a rematch with Dubois or fight Fury. He only has so many fights that he could fight. Period. That's AJ. AJ only has so many fights. I mean, he can pick fights out of them, but he's not fighting McCauley. He's not fighting Zhang. He's not fighting those dudes. I'm sorry, he's just not fighting those dudes. You sound like Floyd, not Big Baby Miller. Hmm. Floyd. Oh, he need to fight Miller. I think he need to fight Miller because if Miller beat he beat Deontay, I think he needs to fight Deontay. He needs to fight Miller. That would send Wilder's mental health to the abyss if he lost to Miller. Yeah, because see, I'm starting to believe that because he's saying my side piece. Yeah, Wilder will be in bad shape because see, he lost Telly. Him and Telly Swift ain't together no more. And I know he loved that woman. He loved that woman like Floyd. Oh, Money Mayweather loved Miss Jackson from Miami. You guys remember that fine chick with the dimples that Floyd used to date back when Floyd went to jail? Yeah, she was bad. But then she left him. Mm-hmm. Hi, Kurt. I've had two friends with serious mental health issues. One was psychotic and killed someone because the queen told him to do it as he was Roman Catholic. He's in Broadmoor now. So Broadmoor, I'm assuming, is a mental institution. You put a facial expressions in your expressions. Haha, truly getting into character. Yep. Dubois gonna take Usyk's belts and his girl. Usyk's belts and his girl? Nah, I doubt somebody he's been married to for that long and has 4 children with. He's gonna no. Nah, she's Ukrainian, bro. I don't think that's gonna happen. Now, if you would have said the other way around, that's more believable. That's more believable. And I'm not talking anything against the baby mama of Danny Dubois. What I'm saying is it hasn't been there long enough to be something that's stable. You see what I mean? Because some people are around for a season. Maybe their reason is the season. Doesn't mean like those guys, like those boxers, those athletes, they have sporadic relationships just like anybody else successful financially. Why do you think women have such the same routine? Oh, I'm with this basketball player. Oh, now I'm dating this football player. Oh, now I'm dating this actor. Oh, now I'm with this boxer. Because they're accustomed to certain lifestyles that they know those guys will give them. Hamza. Well, I think Edgar Berlanga has the power, unlike Adamas. I think Edgar has the power to hurt Shiraz. I think he can knock out Shiraz. But I think Shiraz is going to box his head off. I think Hamza Shiraz is going to outbox Edgar Berlanga, and this is what's going to happen. This is my prediction. I don't have to make a video about Edgar Berlanga. He ain't that important to me. Let me tell you what's going to happen with Edgar Berlanga versus Shiraz. Edgar Berlanga will either land a big shot because he's a heavy-handed Puerto Rican fighter from New York. He's going to land a big shot and knock Shiraz out, unlike Adamas could do. Or he's going to get outpointed. He's just going to get beat up. There's going to be a Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacey kind of fight. That's how I look at Edgar Berlanga. He's like a Puerto Rican Jeff Lacey to me. You guys remember Jeff Lacey, right? Jeff Left Hook Lacey. You guys remember him? And then this was going to happen. He's going to get outboxed by Hamza Shiraz. Hamza's going to outbox him. And then the first thing Edgar Berlanga with his ignorant ass going to do, he's going to say, "No, man, that's what happened when you run. That's what happened when you run. That's what happened. That pussy didn't come to fight. The pussy didn't come to fight. That's why he ran the whole fight. He didn't come to fight. He didn't want none. That's why he ran. Because he doesn't know what boxing is. So he's so used to the people that managed him to throw those live bodies in there, those potato cans, those tomato cans. those Uber drivers, them guys that we saw Edgar Belanga knock out to get the reputation of being a knockout artist. Kurt, did you see Leo Tang? I mean, I've seen him before. Triple D ain't Adrian Roman. No, he's not. And I hope his baby mama ain't like none of them chicks. But I do see she's very intelligent. So she's, you know what I mean? So be careful with that. Because mostly you see someone that deems more intelligent than their mate or their better half. That doesn't really last because the yoke is not that equal. You know what I mean? The Cordona fight is okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, it's a scrap. Lacey, didn't he fight Calzaghe? Yeah, he got his ass whooped by Calzaghe real bad too. That's the type of whooping he may receive. Mm-hmm. That's why I wasn't really impressed with Canelo. Canelo should have murdered Edgar Belonga. Yeah, he dropped him with a shot and showed that he got punching power, but you know what I mean? What does that really mean? I mean, what see, the thing about being wise in fights like that, Canelo, the only good thing about Canelo going the distance is he's having the rounds to keep him conditioned enough to go the distance because he has stamina. The conditioning is there based on the rounds that he was able to complete. Right. And that being said, that's what that is. But Canelo should have stopped Belanga. He should have stopped Jaime Munguia. You know what I mean? Now, I would believe, especially Belanga. He's Puerto Rican. He showed very, very little respect. Poor character. You know what I mean? Those guys were like night and day. Belanga talked all this shit about what he's going to do. So, like, just like someone from New York. You know, someone brash from New York, like a Jarrell Miller. They talk a lot of shit, but they really talk more than they actually do. Their words will never lead up to the actions because their words are just so off the chain and so high and mighty or so you expect so much from those words, from those statements. Yo, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. I'm gonna knock you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, yo. All that. You hear all that shit and then they do nothing like that. You know, that's Edgar Belanga. And because he did talk a lot, like they say in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, el hablatera demasiado, el hablatera, meaning you talk too much. You talk too much shit. See, Canelo should have made it his business to stop Belanga. Do you think Belanga will get to slapping the golden? He can try that shit if he wants to. He's going to end up in jail or the hospital or both, and a fine. So jail, hospital, court, slapping the golden boy. Because see what's going to happen. It won't be something that will last long. But if you slap Oscar, and if you do it in a way that you're right up on Oscar, and Oscar could get some shots off, Oscar's going to throw some punches. And I bet Oscar's at least a 180, 175, 180 now. Because he's like 51. 50. Oscar De La Hoya is 52 years old. You know what I mean? So he's born in 73. But no, that's stupid. Worry about Hamza. You talking about slapping people. That's that New York bullshit. And it's almost like people that talk a lot of shit like that, I mean, I respect. I grew up around a lot of cats from New Jersey and Trenton, New Jersey, and New York, and NYC, and they had this type. Gonzalez better be careful, bro. Gonzalez better be very careful because the way he's trying to commit the shots and he's running into that left hook of Cordina, it could be lights out for him. I'm just saying. Now it's already 6th round, but it takes a while to crack an egg, especially if the shell's hard. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I grew up around people like that with that attitude. What's up, pussy? What's up? What? You know, I mean, it was cool then. Now it's kind of like obnoxious. You know what I mean? Hanging around the bodega or the stoop, hanging at what's-a-McCall's house, drinking, sitting around doing nothing. You know what I mean? Bugging. I mean, that was cool when I was at like 17, 18, 19. But now you look at it like, dude, you're a grown ass man and you still talk that shit. Yo, pussy, what? What, pussy? I don't like it's to me, nah. But it just shows you maturity. Like, okay, yeah, I remember living that type of way, talking that type of way. But now I don't see that's any relevance and there's no growth to that. So if Edgar Belonga still like if he's 48, 50 years old, he's still talking like that, chances are that's just his, they say people, stop learning at age 25. I don't believe that, but Bill knows boxing in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. But yeah, I think, a lot of bark, a lot of bark, you know, bite not so much, but a lot of bark. So, but no, Canelo should have stopped Belonga. Now, Jaime Mugia, I can understand him carrying Mugia because Mugia is, besides the drug stuff, Mugia was actually a pretty good bloke. He didn't talk a lot of shit. He never started anything. He just did his thing. He was an active fighter. My only issue with Jaime Mugia is his own protection of defense because he punched and he fought and he threw shots and he got in exchanges with his mouth wide open. But other than that, he was a pretty good dude. He was never like you never heard him talk shit. He was a proud Mexican from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He was cool and he was an exciting fighter. Did he have the best defense? No, but shit, what Mexican really does. And I'm not trying to be funny. They're mostly offensive minded. So no, I don't really think that's I never had a problem with Jaime Munguia, so I don't think Canelo did either. And you can see the mutual respect. The problem that Canelo had was with Oscar De La Hoya, which I don't understand that either. Bro, Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya. Canelo should be thanking De La Hoya. Canelo can't keep winning. Everyone reaches the end. I mean, he's lost before. Canelo's lost before. This ain't like he has never been beaten. Canelo has got his ass whooped on many occasions. That's a fact. Shit, officially or unofficially, it don't matter. If you don't count unofficial, fine. We got official. He's got his ass whooped before. It ain't like he doesn't know what it's like to lose. That's it. Clickety click. Ali and Sonny Liston. Yeah, pulled out a gun. Yeah, it was. My thing is, who carries a gun around that shoots blanks? Like, where did he get such a thing? You know what I mean? Like, why would you carry a gun? Or did you have two guns? Did you have one that actually had bullets in it, and you had one that shot blanks? What if you pulled out the wrong one and shot Ali in the face? I don't know. Matthew Ryan, I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah. Look, Cordina. I think he has him hurt. He's bouncing around. How do you see Stevenson versus William Cepeda? Stevenson could get outworked, but because he could get on his bicycle and fight like Devin Haney in his last fight, but nobody would respect that. Yeah. So I think because people expect him to fight that way, he's going to go in going in trying to show people and prove a point. And I think that'll be the problem. Yeah, Cordina's beating his ass. Cordina is beating his arse. Kurt, do you think Terrence's footwork is as fast as Billy Joe Saunders back when he fought Canelo? If no, Canelo has a chance. No. I think that's a piss poor analogy because I don't think I don't think Billy Joe had good footwork at all anymore when he fought Canelo, or it wasn't anything where it was when he fought versus David Lemieux, right? David Lemieux, hold on a second, guys. Um, but no, I think that Billy Joe fighting David Lemieux, but then David Lemieux was a plotting fighter, so you know what I mean. Maybe Billy Joe looked like that based on, you know what I mean, his opponent, because Billy Joe back, pivot, back, pivot, back, pivot, back, pivot. Canelo not so much because Canelo is giving you upper body movement. He's giving you pressure without even punching. He's stepping with it. You know what I mean? Because really, you look at Canelo, and a lot of times, like Canelo gives me that kind of yeah, Sonny Liston like. You know, he's stepping. You know, and his educated steps are his ability to close the gap in the distance, to throw shots or to counter. Right? Cuts the ring well. I mean, he doesn't cut it well. He does it good enough based on his upper body movement. You know what I mean? He can, but he's not one of the best. You know what I mean? And I don't think Canelo makes an effort. Like William Skull was a perfect opportunity for us to see him show us that he can cut off the damn ring. And he didn't show us that he could cut the ring off like that. He could have just been bit, 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 bit. You know, he didn't want to throw punches. But I think this is my theory. I think Canelo Alvarez doesn't waste shots because I think Canelo Alvarez has a formula where he doesn't gas out. How do you stop from gassing out? You throw less punches. So most of your punches are very educated. If you notice Canelo's whole game plan, Canelo is like, um, his whole game plan is throw shots that count, throw shots that matter, pick your shots, make decisions wiser because he knows, like, look, listen, this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to throw shots. I'm going to um, pick my shots, make those shots a ooh and ah type scoring shot. Therefore, I'll never gas out. If I don't gas out, you know, I don't have to worry about it. But I think he doesn't do what he used to because I think he will gas out. So if Crawford makes Canelo work and throw punches, especially punches that he throws and misses, that's why Oscar De La Hoya didn't want a rematch with him and Lara, because Canelo threw shots that actually missed, and he hated that. Why would you want to fight somebody like that? Somebody that can get on and off the bicycle. See, everybody talk about Lara getting on the bicycle, but nobody talks about Lara getting off that motherfucker. He got off that bicycle. That type shit. And you're like, oh, that was nasty. And it wasn't like those were just shots that he was throwing at Canelo. No, those were shots that he was landing. Do you see? You remember the eye of Canelo after that fight? You remember those black ass Blues Brother shades that he was wearing after that fight? He was wearing those Blues Brother shades for a reason. Blues Brothers for Bruise Brothers, because he was getting caught. Yeah. Is Michael Hunter still fighting Pulev? He should be, and he better. I want to see him next month. I'm going to reach out to Michael Hunter. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. How about that? Iron Sentinel, counter punch to you. I always liked Michael, though. I always thought he was a good bloke. I always think, he didn't really have a clean shake. You know. Big Mike, what's up, bro? I'm just here live. Just wanted to show you some love. Counterpunch Boxing News in the building. You know I send you the stream, the link. So if you ever want to come on, please do. But we want to say counterpunch to you. There you go. Cool. Do you remember the Banana Split show? And if so, no, I don't. Let me see the Banana Split show. No, I don't. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't know about that show. Hunter never fought enough. Inactivity killed his resume. I don't know about his resume. I think inactivity killed his career, not really resume. Because I mean, Usyk, Povetkin, Bakali. You have to think about those names. Usyk. So talking about his resume, Mike Hunter's resume. Oh, he fought nobody. He ain't fought nobody, really. Let's back step that shit for just a few ticks. Yeah. Usyk, Bakali, Povetkin. Right? Who else? Just those three names right there are better than a lot of people they've done. Period. Yeah, Frank Sanchez, that would be a good fight. That would actually be a good fight, and it's just like, it's sad though that no one else are making these fights happen. Dude, this is a banger right here. This is a banging fight. I thought the sex doll looked better than Paris. Man, quit talking about Paris like that. That's his wife, man. Michael lacked a manager that believes in him. Yeah, they screwed over him mighty fine. But I don't think Eddie has true love for like heavyweights, especially when his cash cow heavyweight is there. See, there was a problem. If you notice Eddie's a dude. Think about it. Eddie's a dude that he has no problems promoting like Bivol and Canelo and Stevenson because he's a good promoter. Eddie Hearn is a good promoter, bro. He loves what he does. Bars. But if you notice the heavyweight division, there's only room for AJ. He's only going to treat AJ right based on the fact that AJ is AJ. See, when he had Luis Ortiz and he had Michael Hunter, he did not give them the same energy because they weren't AJ. You see what I'm saying? And for that reason, he could not, I repeat, he could not give them the same type of concessions as AJ because that meant eventually he would have to match those guys that have that type of skill up with AJ and could mess up the money pit. You know how many millions Eddie Hearn made from Anthony Joshua? Let's think about that shit for a minute. Do you know AJ has made Eddie Hearn a millionaire? And the only question is, how many times over has AJ made Eddie Hearn a millionaire? You think he's going to fuck that up over Luis Ortiz? No, or Michael Hunter? Who the hell is that? A lot of times people don't even know Michael Hunter is like his dad was Mike Hunter. His dad was a fighter. A lot of people don't even know that. So Eddie, he took on a lot of these guys, but then he equally kind of let them slip between the cracks because he knew, like, I can't give these guys fair opportunity, equal employership, because I have AJ. It's almost if he was an agency. If you got this guy that that's paying your bills, that's making your life a lot better, that's changing your life in a way that no one else has, you're going to give him that type of energy more than anybody else. You know that. About 85 times, I'd say. Pretty close. He talks to AJ and him were always dealt. 10 years from now, you'll see him somewhere watching some fight, smiling and grinning ear to damn ear. Because Eddie knows This guy has made me so many millions. My dad, my family, Matchroom. This guy has held up a whole platform by itself. You think he gives a shit about Michael Hunter? And I don't even think it was personal. I just think there is no way that he was going to put an American above AJ being a Brit. That was going to happen. No, hell no. And I'm talking, bro. This has been one action packed fight. Kurt, who wins? Luis Ortiz versus Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora will knock out Luis Ortiz because I don't think he can take shots. Now, if here's the catch though. Derek is always um, he can get caught with shots. Okay, he can get caught with shots definitely. And Luis Ortiz I think can still punch. I just think he can't take shit. I think Derek Chisora can take a punch better than him. Now the question is, can he take Luis Ortiz's punches? But if I had to guess, I would say that he cannot because Derek Chisora can still punch too. And I think Luis Ortiz gets hit hard enough, he's going down. And I don't even think he realizes that. Like the Charles Martin fight, the Andy Ruiz fight is all we need to know about Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz can no longer, sad to say, take punches. He's just too old. And it may not even been Wilder. I think it's just old age. You get your punch resistance gets low. Your bones change density. Luis Ortiz he's in shape for a Cuban fighter, but he's been doing it for a very, very long time. He doesn't have young legs no more. He can't move like he used to. He has great counterpunching ability. I think he will always have that, but the timing will go off due to inactivity and age. So not only does he have age against him, he also has inactivity against him. He's not going to be able to handle Derek Chisora because Derek Chisora won't give Luis Ortiz the opportunity to box. Derek Chisora is going to put his forehead right in the chest of Luis Ortiz and throw hammers. And once he starts throwing, he ain't stopping until he gets tired or until the fight's over. That's Derek Chisora. That's why Derek Chisora puts buns on the seats because he never stops fighting. It don't matter if he's tired. It don't matter if he's fatigued. It don't matter if he's out of gas. He's still going to find a way to take and bring the fight to you. And Luis Ortiz, I don't think is ready for that type of shit, especially with someone like Derek Chisora. They're supposed to be, well, on paper, Ortiz is like 45, 46. He's 46 years old on paper. In reality, he's probably about 52, 53. Hey, you guys heard Spencer Farron, the knowledge, say that he used to spar with Lennox Lewis? Just saying, man. Just keeping it real. Hold on, guys. Hold on just a second. I am back, guys. Why is there always a question about Ortiz's age? He was born like everyone else. Damn, interesting comeback. I never seen no one not make a joke about the age of Luis King Kong Ortiz. I'll tell you guys something, man. If Ortiz was that old and he was doing that type of performances, you got to give him props. You got to give him props because he was able to do things 10, 15 years older than everyone else. Grandpa, old ass Ortiz, dig him up, this, that, and the other. But everyone knows the reality of fighting Ortiz. If you fought Ortiz, yeah, Ortiz, yeah, it was a good action packed fight though. Um, are we drinking tonight? I don't know about tonight because after I eat, I don't like. Here's my thing: had a big breakfast. I'm not gonna really, um, because after that, I don't, because like the little buzz you have is gone, so I don't feel the need to keep drinking. Nah, the drums are in Louisiana. Zang is pretty, but the drums will be there next week. So I will have the drums next week because I will be in Louisiana. You guys remember the cousin that I had? I'm going to his funeral next Saturday. So next Saturday is his funeral. So I will be in Louisiana and I'll do the live there. So Ortiz did it while living under the embargo, Cuba. What did you eat for breakfast? Man, I ate a croissant, a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant with tater tots and an orange juice. Then I went to HEB and I got two chuck eye steaks. One steak like this thick. Thank you. You're welcome. And like what I do, I fillet it up the middle, bro. I got a newfound love for chuck eye because you have rib eye, then you have chuck eye. Well, if you guys don't know meat cuts, chuck eye is my rib eye is my number one. But chuck eye is just as good because it's right here. It's like past the shoulder, and it's this area of the cow, you know, and it's also tender as hell, evenly marbled. Because I love steak, people. I'm a wolf. Love steak. Yeah, man. So yeah, I was. It was crazy. I was doing the Jake Paul fight, and then one of my brothers texted me. I was like, oh shit. Kurt, are you still think to move to the island on your change? No, I'm going. Me boy, me boy. Thank you. Fury should be ashamed of himself. He has the opportunity twice. It's Parker or I get turned. No, it won't be. It won't be because it's too much money at stake. But here's the thing: I won't be mad at Tyson Fury. I'm gonna be mad at Usyk. See, if Usyk beats Danny Dubois and Turkey waves money in his face to get him back in the ring with Tyson Fury, what kind of integrity really is that? What kind of principles is he really standing on? Think about what I'm saying. If Usyk takes that damn fight with Tyson Fury for a third fight, just because Usyk pays him to do so, just because of the money, damn, haven't you made enough money? The first and second Fury fight should be more than hell all of us combined, and we could all eat off that shit. Then you had the two Joshua fights. You know what I mean? This dude's a millionaire, bro. Alexander Usyk don't need no money. So what does he need to fight Tyson Fury a third time for where there's no reason for it? No, I'm not gonna be mad at Fury. I'm gonna be mad at Usyk because Usyk don't have to accept that fight. He's an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He can do what the fuck he wants to do. He doesn't have to take the Tyson Fury fight just because Tyson wants it, just because Turkey wants it. Who the hell are they at that point? I think people need to start putting their foot down and showing their dominance of who they supposed to be. So if you're the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, you've never been defeated. You've kicked every ass in the ring twice, and one not once but twice, a couple times in a row. And then you still fold and buckle over money. You really lose some stripes for that, in my book. Instead of showing people like, nah, I'm gonna fight I get Caballero. You know why? Because he deserves it. He's a good dude. He's never been defeated himself. He's the WBC interim heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm going to give him a shot. Tyson Fury's talked all this shit about how good he is, where I clearly whooped his ass, and I did it twice. I don't need to do it in the UK to know that I'm better than Tyson Fury, so why would I give Tyson Fury an opportunity again? How about give Joseph Parker an opportunity? Why isn't Tyson Fury rallying for his honorary gypsy brother? These are questions that I would be asking if I'm Alexander Usyk, if I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about my position of where I'm at in the heavyweight division. Those are the questions I'm asking myself. Like, what has Tyson done besides talk shit and pretend like he's the best instead of actually being the best? He's seen the best, and I'm better than him. If he doesn't think, Alexander Usyk, that he's the best, he knows he's better than Tyson Fury, so Tyson Fury clearly can't be the best. Come on, man, think about this, bro. And the whole thing is I get Caballero. Well, hey, guess what? How about I try to challenge myself against other fighters that have been fighting just like Tyson Fury, that don't talk that shit, that has actually whooped and beat everyone that they fought, that actually does deserve it, that actually don't do coke, don't crawl out of bars and live this party lifestyle. What reverence do I what do I need? Why am I expected to fight him? Why? Zhang versus Ortiz for Pilsener world title. I like to see Usyk make all his future defenses in the Ukraine. That would be something. Well, I mean, I guess. No one wants to see Fury versus Usyk 3. It's going to be the same result. Well, Tyson maybe just wants some money. And here's my thing. I don't have a problem with Tyson Fury coming back to the sport. That's not my problem. I don't have any problem with that. My problem with Tyson Fury is how you can come back to the sport and pick up where you left off. Like, you are entitled for some shit. And for the idea of someone making that a reality, he is entitled. So that means that Tyson can come back whenever he wants. Don't matter how many times he gets his ass whooped back to back. He can come back just like that, bars, and fight the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. And then that makes Turkey no better than anybody else. Period. So if you say that about Usyk, what do you say about Turkey? Turkey's a guy that, hey, I got money. So now all those guys, Anderson, Jarrell Miller, Wilder, these guys have been offered money that they never would have ever received. You know what I mean? Because Turkey has blessed them. That I can respect. But Tyson don't need no money. He doesn't need any of those things. A trilogy would be pure payday and 3 trilogy for Fury. Crazy. No, it would actually be 4 fights. 4 trilogy fights for Tyson Fury. Tyson, he's going to bring that up. I've been on the only fighter that has 4 trilogies. That's 12 fights, laddie. The WBC has some nonsense rule that allows previous champs to come back for the title shot. Pac-Man, for example. That's some shit he just made up. Man, fuck Mauricio Suleiman, bro. I never really liked him because I've seen what he's done, and, and that's that. I mean, he's you know the only problem or the only good side to Dana White was the hey, well, maybe Dana White will come in and do what Fidel Castro was supposed to have done for Cuba. You know, him and Che Guevara. Take over the place, revolution, right? Nah, same shit. Just gonna be more people. You know, I don't know what a baddie man is, but I'm assuming that's a bad thing. Mauricio Money Suleiman. Yeah, Mauricio. I can tell you, he speaks so well. I would like to think everyone to say that Tyson Fury will come back. And the only reason he's doing that shit because he knows Tyson Fury will make a lot of money and he therefore will benefit from Tyson Fury's return. That's all. Financially. It's all about that. He was just talking about how Tyson Fury is still very bitter last week. Wasn't he not? Now he's coming back. That's all he needs to hear. I would welcome Tyson with open arms into the rankings as a former champion. You dunce. Batty Man is gay and Jamaican. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Give Parker Caballero the opportunity. Fury should earn it. Now, if Tyson Fury people fought one of those guys, which if he fought Caballero, because I don't expect him to fight um, Parker. So if Fury fought Caballero, that would be a very good fight. An Usyk Fury trilogy fight in Ukraine would be amazing. I don't know because how safe is that shit though? That's what I think about the safety factor. Because Usyk's talking about missiles and scuds and bombs and shit. What happens if Russia pulls some bullshit like you know what I mean? Destroy all the athletes and destroys everybody. Dude, that would be. Did you imagine the people there? No, I don't know. I don't want it there. Kurt, are you surprised that John Fury has been absent from the media after his son's coming out? No, because John, I think John is just John, man. I think John kind of deep, like I think he disconnects from certain things, and he comes back when he wants to. Big John comes back when Big John wants to come back. He's probably heard it. He's just, Tyson Fury is the real champ and was screwed over. Mauricio Money Sulamab. Yeah. But if I'm Turkey, I'm like, well, how do you feel? You feel that you didn't get a fair shake in my country? I thought you loved my country. Revelation TV, salute Kurt. What's your thoughts about Bacali versus Sanchez? We'll like to see that. That's a good man. That's a good fight. You know what? I got Sanchez to beat Martin McCauley. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, he's Cuban. But understand, I also have some logic behind it. So it's not pure bias. What this is about is if the knee of Sanchez is repaired the right way and Sanchez is able to move, Sanchez can beat Mark McCauley. Yeah, he can just outbox him. Step in, score, step out. Step in, score, step out. Now, depending on the condition of Martin McCauley, that will be a huge factor in that fight. Just to break it down, because Martin McCauley, based on what we saw last time, if you think Martin McCauley is a guy that just made a little money, Martin is one of those guys that benefited from fighting under the Turkey al-Sheikh regime, right? If he got too comfortable with the fights and the money that he made, which is understandable, people. I mean, we're only human. Some money we can't deal with as human beings. As our way of life, some people cannot deal with the amount of money of successfully making uh, high career. You can't handle it. The concept of it, the reality of it. If you're used to making $35,000 a year and someone gives you $5 million, bro, you will probably be dead in 2 years. Sometimes money will destroy people. Money don't make you; it reveals you. What would you do with $5 million? What kind of lifestyle would you have? Would you have the same type of discipline with $5 million? Chances are, hell no. You'd probably buy up shit that you've never bought up. You wouldn't go to work. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't do that. Just keeping it real. Lotto winners don't have the mindset to maintain the lifestyle. Absolutely, because they're not trying to maintain a lifestyle. Their life has changed. They don't think about their lifestyle, though. You see? So Mark McCauley might be one of those guys that might have stayed hungry and spread those sparring stories for so long to the point where he did start getting paid. He got about $4 or $5 million in the bank. He may never be the same. The idea of not eating what he normally eats in the Congo because he used to be skinny, because he know what it's like to go without. So he's eating like a damn pig now. You think he's gonna stop eating like a pig when he knows he can eat like a pig? Maybe not. Because the discipline is not there to stop eating versus what he couldn't do before. Now that he can, why stop? See, the mindset of anybody that didn't have shit, when they do get it, they get it in excess. I have several friends and family members that they got money. They were poor when they grew up, but as soon as they got money, they got everything that they got when they couldn't get it when they were young. So you see guys walking around with 200 pair of tennis shoes. What the fuck are you going to do with 200 pairs of tennis shoes? Stupid. But they do. They have it because they didn't have it growing up. And since they didn't have it growing up, and they get the amount of money, now they have access to buying this shit, they're going to buy it. So no, I think, I think Sanchez himself would outbox Martin McCauley based on what we've seen Martin McCauley get outboxed and who he got outboxed by. See, Effie Ajagba followed a game plan, but did he do something spectacularly special? Well, he showed improvement, but he just showed that he could follow a game plan, which was very impressive. And more people with more skill can't even follow. So you think that because Frank's explosive too, because Frank may hit Mark McCauley with something that he don't see, just like Joseph Parker did. Some fighters can't handle the fame and some can't. Yeah, maybe McCauley can. Give McCauley $10 million. Look at Andy Ruiz. That's why I say Martin, Andy Ruiz, McCauley. Because Andy Ruiz, McCauley, it's the mindset of someone getting a certain amount of success, and that certain amount of success changes their life forever for the worse. Their pinnacle has just been added because they're not going to do anything else. Andy will always talk about what he did to AJ because he ain't doing nothing else past that. Andy may have a couple more fights. He may win. He may lose. But he will never do what he did on June 1st, 2019. He will never, ever, ever, ever do that again. And I think he knows that. And I think the mindset of him knowing that, I've done that. Revelation TV, you're absolutely right. McCauley might get knocked out by Frank Sanchez. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, bro, and then see, McCauley's waiting and he's a plodding fighter. He really disappointed me because I thought there were more levels to that dude. Comes in, rush in, and attack. He has a counter punching ability. Sure. But overall, no, bro. Nah. He's nobody special. He's nobody unbeatable. He's not a Joe Joyce. Andy wants a house made from Snickers bar. I want I want snickered I want snickered flavored bricks. I want bricks that smell like Snickers. Yeah, Frank will outbox him, and Frank will have fun doing it too. And then what Martin McCauley will do, he's more like anybody that doesn't like to box, that doesn't like to put in the work to cut off the ring, to do your fucking job. Okay, like a Edgar Berlanga. That's why I don't like him. I don't like his fighting style. I don't like his attitude. I don't like none of that. Anybody, if someone stands in front of you, you can knock anybody out if you got the punching power. Stand in front of Kurt DeVille and see what happens. You're standing in front of me like what? And then you push me or shove me or throw a shot at me. I'm gonna knock you out, or I'm gonna hit you with something hard enough for you not to try that shit again. But if you're a boxer, you're using angles, you're pivoting, you're showing people lateral movement, you're bobbing, you're weaving, you're feinting, you're flinching, you're jabbing, you're reflecting, you're doing what you're supposed to do in the ring, you're making it harder for the next guy to get the punch on you. That's what boxing is. Hit without being hit. So no, I don't respect that at all. And as we speak, Eubank is coming out now. Chris Tucker? Chris Tucker used to be the man. There was an arrow floating around that McCauley was to be avoided. Yeah, I mean, it was. Now he ain't, because people know, oh, okay, he's a fat ass dude. He eats too much. He may come into the ring 320 pounds. He ain't going to whoop nobody with that unless you let that happen. If you let him or get caught in a corner where he hurts you or something like that, because he is a big guy and he can punch. But if you know how to box and you know distance principles, you'll be able to beat McCauley because he's not that good. I'm sorry, he's just not that good. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed in Mark McCauley when he fought Efe Ajagba because I thought Ajagba was perfect, was target practice for someone like Mark McCauley. I thought Efe Ajagba was. Kurt Wilder needs to fight Miller to get rid of his past relationship stuff. I don't know. I don't think that'll ever be gone. I don't think that'll ever be gone, bro. Who's winning, Cat or Eubank? They haven't fought yet. Ed Ellerby. They're coming out now. Eubank just reached the ring. He was first in the ring walk. Would you take a fight with McCauley? No. Uh-uh. Well, to have me looking like Jared Anderson? Nah. Look, listen, guys. If Jake Paul can come in, people are getting millions. Fuck that. If Tommy Fury could come in and make millions from fighting Jake Paul, there's no way I'm going to fight Martin McCauley for $400,000. You're paying half that shit to taxes. I mean, you'll come back with, oh man, I made 170,000. You've earned 400,000, but then you're paying out so much, and it's crazy. Like Ali saying to Foreman, "Is that all you got, George?" Yeah. No, because the scariest thing for me, fighting someone like that, okay, I'm good. As I might like it. If you guys haven't seen, I did a interview with Jim Lampley, me and Jay Roos, Check it out. It's on the live. We did a live stream. A lot of my members only. Shout out to you guys. You guys have checked it out. But Jim Lampley said something. There's nothing like boxing, and it was a good, very good interview. And he will be back, by the way. I am so sick of Zhang will be off the chain. Bill, no, Macaulay. No, I'm so sick of the YouTubers being a part of the story. They're not all a part of the story. Jake Paul is just the exception. I give Jake Paul credit because, see, Jake Paul could have retired when he got beat the first time. Everybody thought, okay, this is what's going to happen. As soon as Jake Paul loses, see, he's gone. That ain't the case. I mean, yeah, he ate some crow. He ate crow for a while, people. He ate some humble pie. People trolled him and stuff like that. But at the same time, he came back, didn't he? He fought Anderson Silva. He fought Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Which, of course, low-hanging fruit type fight, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Man, I think shout out to Jay Roos, man. And it was really Jay Roos's interview. It wasn't mine. He just wanted me to go in on it, and that's my boy, that's my brother. So we were going to go in on it, and he was going to do it on his. It's like, well, no, let's do it on yours because it's a bigger platform. You can get it out and stuff like that. I was like, well, cool. So that's what we did. Michael Fuller in the building, counterpunch to you. Alan Benson, hey, Kurt, long time since I checked on you. Pleased to see your channel growth. Thank you, man. I mean, I'm thankful for what the channel does, whatever it does, because, it may not have done what it has once done. However, here's the thing. It's done way past what I ever thought it would ever do. So you have to remember that, and especially in the YouTube world. CJ Rich coming in this bitch. Bars. Thank you for the love, brother. Both boxers had a chill song, then switched to something more hype. What's the fight beverage today? I quit hazy IPA, strictly cider now. This is just whiskey on the rocks, bro. Nothing else added. All the sugars and stuff like that. Nah, there's enough sugar in that shit to cause an insulin spike. If you guys know anything about diabetes, ACI, I don't have that, but seriously, you have to really pay attention to the sugars that you put in your body. People think that it's grease or salt. No, it's sugar. That's the true Diablo for your body. Sugar, bread, yeast, starch, carbs, right? So here we go. All the judges who are in England, Steve Gray, John Latham, and Marcus McDonald, all from England. So this is an English show. So there's none of that. Fury has been ducking Joshua since 2015. Nah, I don't think it's been that long. Because remember, Joshua wasn't a champion until 2016, and Wilder became unified champion in 2015. So Joshua, to be fair, wasn't there yet. Yep, this cider 5% sugar inflammation is no joke. Yep, turmeric, bro. Turmeric is a lifesaver. Onions, bro. Organic is the way to go. Because I'm bougie, bro. If you go to my refrigerator right now, it's, like steak, eggs. Because I've been on that. Because I've been trying to regulate more of muscle because I'm trying to put on muscle mass, but it's harder, bro. It's harder at 45 than it was 35. 35, you just eat good, with the right, combination of carbs and meats. And shit, you go to the gym, hit it, come out all swole. Now it's like, it's different. It's different, because I've been a pretty big size. I'm a heavyweight, so I'm not a small guy, but I see your muscles are not where they were. They ain't popping like they were, So I think the more cardio you do, the better off. But you're not going to grow anything, unless you just pile on a lot of Um, Protein, peanut butter is good. Um, I have to tell you guys, Magic Mind, bro, has changed my life. Magic Mind. Hold on a second. Okay, cool. No, bro, this is Magic Mind. Magic Mind is a life changer. It's like natural ADHD. It's a calm, makes you think sharper, quicker. You know, because like a lot of times, like I get caught up on words, or you can't get the words out. And on that, here is the fight. Ding ding, first round. So we got Catteral, man, Eubank coming in really hyper. Good jab from Catteral downstairs. I noticed Catteral, he's trying to close the distance, working on the timing, working on the distance. He goes for a couple of jabs, but he misses. Eubank shows a lot of nervous energy. I think he really needs to calm down. You know what I mean? Oh, good left hook from Eubank. Because see, here's the thing about nervous energy. If you're jittery like that and you're not moving, and you're not throwing rather. Oh, good jab from Catteral. And see, Catteral now though, I think it's better for Catteral because good jab and a right hand lands for Eubank. And see, Catteral is see. Here's the problem: don't follow around a puncher, and that's what Catterall's starting to do. He's starting to try to reset. Good left hand from Catterall. I know it touched the chin. I don't think it touched flush. Now Catterall wants to lock him up. I don't know what that ref. That ref was like he was too good to touch on him. Bro, separate the fighters. That's what you're paid to do. Right miss for Eubank. Jab to the body misses for Catterall. Oh, one thing I noticed about Catterall, he's awkward, but he see those awkward shots. Oh, good straight left from Catterall. Good time left in the corner. Oh, he just missed with that right hand. Eubank went for that right hand because see now it's a standoff. And Catterall, he has those legs spread apart, which helps him defensively because you have to travel farther to throw your shots when he spreads his legs because the target is farther away. Therefore, so he knows what he's doing. So he's stretching those legs back. Oh, this is going to be something. This is going to be one of those shots. This is a dangerous fight because a southpaw versus an orthodox, you can run into something. I don't know who won that first round. I can't tell it. Don't ask me. I don't know. Um, but I tell you, this is going to be one of those fights when someone gets caught, it's going to tell the story of who wants it. You are 100% with the turmeric and other advices, fats, bread, sugars. I have fed my dog the way I fed myself. He's 17 years old and still going. Alan Benson, counterpunch to you, bro. Hell yeah. I have this turmeric paste that the only thing is, um, Unfortunately, I like if I cook for myself, I'm good. When you're cooking for other people, you got to keep in mind other people are not inclined, or neither do they give a shit about how healthy you're supposed to eat versus how things taste. Um, Inform you guys about the four evils, the four goods: look good, taste good, feel good, and sound good. Those are the four goods, the four evil goods, right? Keep that in mind. And you apply that to taste, and food is taste or look, right? Smell, you know, those goods. It is like those will kill you faster than a bullet. And most of the shit now, even was it blue mint Listerine now? That shit is now linked to so many cancers. It's just ridiculous. Oh, good left from Catteral, but he eats a left hook from Eubank. Oh, good straight left from Catteral. Good jab from Catteral. Good jab from Catteral. You know what I noticed about Catteral? Catteral is now becoming more like a Canelo. He's not as active, and I wondered, I'm like, what is going on with Catteral? Why isn't he performing the way we remember him performing? It's because he's not the dude he used to be. He's slowing down. He's pacing himself. He's doing the Canelo Alvarez. He's doing the Zili Zane. You see what I'm saying? Those guys don't fight to for volume. They don't fight to win rounds. They fight to do damage because they know I only have so many of these punches to throw. Bars, right? So there you go with that. Good 1, 2, 3 for Catteral. Double jab up top, straight left scoring. If I'm Eubank, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go right to I'm gonna go to Catterall's body. But Catterall again is a guy that's looking for certain shots. So he's a guy sitting back. If Catterall was bigger, I would love to see him in there with Ennis Landy Lara because he reminds me a lot of Lara when he fights. You think about, and he steps back and he got a sway to him. But I don't think he's as slick as Lara. I used to think that when he was more active. And if I'm Eubank, Eubank should throw more body punches. Good right to the body. Did you hear me? Eubank, did you hear me? Escúchame, carrón. Este me acaba para el cuello. Hey, look here, man. I think that Catteral is a defensive fighter, so he knows how to pace himself. Gotcha. Ooh, good 1, 2 from Catteral. He comes in. And that was on a rhythm. Look, and see, here's the problem. What Eubank's doing, he's showboating. Never showboat with Catteral, because then you're giving Catteral, the guy with more experience, you're giving him time to set up what he's going to do next. Right? That's the problem. The shoulder roll is one of Jack's strengths. Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, and the Barbosa fight. See, Barbosa, younger guy, more energy, hungrier. Especially a proud Mexican fighter. You know, dude. Yeah, good 1, 2. That's definitely a Catteral round right there. I give that to Catteral. Yeah, that's Connor and them's um, cousin. Yeah. No, because I don't know who won the first round. I just don't want to just give it to Catteral just because Catteral won the second round. See, I think people do that shit. Oh man, well, he's getting better. But if you don't know who won the first round, how can you just claim a round without claiming, just because of another round? It's a round by round analysis. So you're going to score a round based on that round by itself. That's it. A lot of people like to, well, this is what was gradually happening. I get it. But if they were still losing or winning, they're still losing or winning the round. You see, oh, what the hell was that? What the hell did I just see? I seen Chris Eubank do a backflip roll tuck. What kind of shit was that? Do you guys see that? Okay, here we go. Oh, straight left from Catteral. Another straight left from Catteral. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's got Eubank standing still. You don't do that with Catteral. Catteral, now he can measure where you're going to be and land that left. Because one thing about Catteral can land the left if you're not mobile, if you don't have head movement, if you're not showing defensive prowess. If you're not moving your head, he's going to show you how to move your head with the punch that he lands. Uh-huh. That's what's going to happen. What's happening with the Bivol versus Beterbiev rematch? I have no idea, Matthew. That's a very, very good question. You know, I'll take that for 500, Alex. I don't know. I mean, we have Benavidez versus Yard, which is a great fight, guys. You know, a fight I would like to see. I would like to see Tio versus Catteral. That would be a pretty good fight. I mean, and then here's the thing: people say, "Oh, Tio beat Catteral." You don't know that because see, Tio is a guy that doesn't pressure you like that. He's a trickster. Tio is a guy that bases offensive and defensive on a certain asphalt fault line, even. So he's gonna go with the flow a lot of times. Catteral, uh-oh. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I don't think Bivol and Beterbiev 3 happens. Well, Beterbiev, if you guys follow Beterbiev like I do on it, check out Beterbiev's IG. He's training like the Dickens right now. Shout out to Aaron Jose in the building. He's training like the Dickens. That's my uncle, by the way. He says that all the time. That's it. He says that like the Dickens. So when you guys hear me say like the Dickens, think of Uncle Aaron Jose in the building. It's apparently getting planned for November. Apparently, we'll see. We'll see. Catteral has to win his first, but he should be aiming for Tio if he does. That's crazy. This dude went in a control. Yeah, he does some rolling. Look, he grabs him. Okay, Catteral tries to throw him down, and he does. Look, and Eubanks flips over, rolls, tucks, and jumps right back up. Bro, that was crazy. Crazy. That was some crazy stuff. Because Catteral was like, yeah. Eubanks was like, yeah. Jumps up. Turkey has said the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol has to fight Benavidez. Well, great. KT. Turkey Al-Sheikh in the building. His Excellency. Go ahead now. I love that. I wish, like, people would shift talent, strength, and their interest over to the light heavyweight division because it's done a lot more. If you look at the light heavyweight division, then if Canelo would have stayed instead of being a bitch and went back to 168, see, he retreated, bro. He did what AJ did in New York and left and ain't come back. Canelo did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said it. Yes, I said it. Canelo and Anthony Joshua, they did the same shit. They got beat in a certain place and didn't come back to that place since. Facts. So Canelo was like, I want challenge. I'm the best in the world. I can do whatever I want. You didn't want to go your ass back to 175. I know that. Ooh, good left hook. Good left hook from Eubank. And here's the crazy thing. He threw it again because he thought Catteral was still going to be there. But Catteral took a step back like, ooh, I felt that shit. Nope. It wants to give Fury a footwork. Rub that foot, Turkey. Rub that feet. Rub those dogs, Turkey. I hope Turkey somehow gets Fury to fight Joshua. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, it's crazy. I mean, you know what happens though in those type of fights? This is the sad thing about boxing. The sad thing about boxing is what happens when we get them fights? We all talk about this shit. We complain and we speculate and imagine and we dream and we discuss these fights and the possibilities and AJ versus Fury. What happens when AJ actually fights Fury? And we got a decisive winner. You know what happens to boxing? The same thing that happened last year to boxing. Boxing goes to shit. When Alexander Usyk finally fought Tyson Fury, it was almost like getting with that girl you always wanted to get with, or that guy you always wanted to get with, right? The anticipation, and you experienced it, you've done it. It's almost like a series ending that you've got attached to, that you've got involved with. Now it's over. You ever binged a series that you really liked, and then that shit ended? You've watched it all, and that's it? Game over? Cut? That's how it is. See, when Usyk fought Tyson Fury, it was over with. The heavyweight division then was like, all right, that's it. Great day and great evening, brother Kurt. All mods in chat. Charles Wilson in the building. Counterpunch to you, my brother. God bless you and keep you. But that's how it is. And it was just like, now it's just like Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. After that fight, people really didn't want, people were like kind of, okay, I'm over boxing. Because that kind of consumed the interest of boxing to the point where it's like, okay, cool. What happens now? Jasora told Miller what's up. Yeah, I remember it. I saw it this morning. I didn't do a video on it. Good left from Catteral. You could definitely tell Eubank is physical in certain ways that that Catteral is not, but wait a minute. Good left. Good left. Good straight left from Catteral. A good counter from Eubank. Once you wait more than 3 years for an anticipated fight, it will not live up to the expectation. Skrilla 50, that ain't no lie. I think that's what happened. I think, you let something build to that. Like, I remember fights that never happened. There's a lot of fights that we should have saw, we never saw. We can talk that shit all we want, but like AJ versus Wilder, I'd still watch it because we're boxing fans here. I think we are. As much as we grow and we grow and we grow, I don't think everyone grows. I wish if I appreciate my brother Showbiz for creating the war room and increasing the boxing interest based on your good left uppercut by Catteral, but based on the overall interest that a person has and can share that lures other people in, like a preacher, like a minister, like a pastor to boxing, and it's a good thing because you keep the interest up because people hear you and they believe in you, and because you love the sport, they also love you, so they love the sport too. Bars, you understand? So it's like one of those situations when it comes to boxing. But see, sometimes people don't love the sport, they love the person, they love that particular athlete. They don't love the sport itself. They don't love what happens from that. When that fighter falls, they fall. That's the sad thing about it. So if we get to a point where it's just, hey, let's respect the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy, we'll be better off, won't we? Wilder is going to end up in a nursing home if he keeps fighting. Vaughn, don't say that. What the fuck is good at all that money if you can't spend it? Wilder has 7 children. You think I want to see him in a fucking nursing home? No, bro. I don't care what he said. I think Wilder said things because he thought he was a general badass based on his God-given ability that he may or may not had, that he may or may not have no more. Jack's doing okay. Jack Catteral is Jack Catteral, but I'm witnessing a older Catteral, a less active one. Um, he still has swag. You know what I mean? He still has rhythm, but it's not like it used to be. It's like, again, like Canelo Alvarez. See, Canelo Alvarez is a guy that, you see him, he's pretty good, but he's nowhere where he was. That's why I think Terrence Crawford will beat him. You know? If you love boxing, then you shouldn't want. Oh, look at this, more wrestling. Look at this shit. What is this? I don't know what this is. I think Catterall's like, and it's basically Catterall. Catterall's grabbing Eubank, and then Eubank is physically using his athletic ability to do different shit to get out of that, position. You know, good jab upstairs from Catterall. See, and see, Catterall now, though, I think he's felt something from Eubank he didn't like. That hook, I think, on the inside, he didn't like, and he doesn't want to get caught with that. So if you know how to fight, and here's the problem, and you get caught with a shot. Oh, good straight left. So I think Eubank, if he lands on Catterall, he's going to knock his ass out. It's just something tells me if he lands the right shot, as wild or as awkward as those shots and the energy, and he's turning in those shots. Eubank is turning into those shots. If he lands a right hand on Catterall, bro, or a left hook in the right pivot, he's gonna hurt Catterall bad. I just know it just hasn't happened yet. Just Catterall is experienced enough because he's experienced enough to handle this. Jab for Catterall. Wilder's power was extreme accuracy with the missile right hand. I don't really think it was. I think it was the opposite. I think it was the fact that he landed the right and he got that right and made that right count. And I think, oh, he was accurate. No, he wasn't. Because you got to think about, you think about the shot that landed. You just don't think about the ones that he threw. There was a reason they called him Sloppy Wilder. And they called him Sloppy Wilder because, the way he looked when he missed. Sure, when he got your hurt, he's slopping, like fucking, like the double dutching ass jump rope female. I guess you call it a sport. Ooh, see, headbutt. Look at that. But I mean, listen, karma's a bitch. Okay, because see, here's the deal. See, he's pulling that Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm glad not to be paying for it. Well, I'm glad it's not on pay per view. I probably wouldn't have bought it on pay per view, to be fair, because the zone, based on the subscription, should give us something. Yeah, see, Eubank's he's getting frustrated based on the fact, and see, this is a problem, bro. It's karma, though. You do all that grabbing on the inside because you don't know how a punch is going to land. Wilder landed 100% of his power. Dominic Brazil, that was like a bazooka. I mean, he called Dominic Brazil, sure. Miller will be following Wilder around heaven, saying, I swift before you, sucker. I got swift before you, sucker. I don't know. I mean, shit, I hope not. Oof. Yeah, that's a clash of heads. But then, here's the thing. They both locked up on the inside. And if you swing and then you look to lock up, bro, that's what you expect. That eyelid's fucked. That's a nasty ass cut. Yeah, yeah. Miller will be following. Yeah, already got that one. Miller versus Wilder now, please. Wilder don't want that shit. Let's see what happens. They might call this fight off because they figure they're up on points. And if that's the case, I don't know. I mean, that cut ain't that bad, bro. Fuck. It ain't that bad. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad, though. I don't know. Fight's over. Party's over. Party's over, said the girl. I hope Wilder, yeah. Yeah, this is shitty. So I don't know. I don't know if he raising his hands to do what for what reason? Because I mean it's past 6, so it needs to go to the scorecards. Let's see, guys. Vamos a ver. I wait on a wing and I pray. Okay, this makes it interesting because the decision. I don't know who it'll go to or what. Throw Miller in there with Moses. Nah, I think Miller's had enough of those hungry ass live dogs. They trying to kill me. They put me in there with their yellow fro-weighing ass dude. They like to punch like that. They tried to kill me. Yeah, that's karma though. I mean, you're doing all that grab ass, and you got to take some. You got to give some. That's it. Is that fight? Is that the last fight? Yeah, it's over. Michael Fuller, it's over, bro. It is over. I'm not a fan of either, but I think Wilder would iron Miller out. Nah, guys, you don't understand. I don't think you understand the type of fight that really means for Wilder. If Wilder beat Miller, if Wilder beat Miller, that would be a guy that was supposed to fought AJ. and will be a guy that was regarded to duck, or AJ ducked. Since AJ ducked, what they would do was they would be, hey, I beat the guy that they didn't want. Eddie didn't want Jarrell Miller. I knocked his ass out. He a peasant too. AJ a fake champion. He always was. All his whole resume was on lies, and I showed y'all today. Wilder is shot. Never was elite. He probably wasn't. But I'll tell you this, man. Oh man, bro. You guys understand that Usyk versus Dubois is only 2 weeks away? Oh, I don't know, man. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. That's done. Look at Eddie. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that scar. Bob Arum. Okay. Impersonation time, guys. Great. Who wants to see an impersonation of Bob Arum? Super chats needed, please. Bryce Productions. The greatest American hero. Yeah, yeah. Nolan, come on. Come on. Come on. Who wants to see Bob Arum impersonation of what happened tonight? Cena. Okay. Eddie Roach impersonation. Ed, did you say Eddie Roach? You mean Freddie? I'm not doing Freddie, bro. I never do Freddie. I'm not going to do that. That's disrespectful. Let's see what happens, guys. Here we go. Scorecards. Well, I mean, shit, Eubank has a bad cut too, bro. Ooh. Ah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh shit, I was about to say and new. I'm like, damn, who's the old IBF International Welterweight Champion? Okay, as promised, we got okay, here we go. Aram is a corrupt person, both. Well, I think personally, these guys, they need to fight again. They was wrestling, they're hugging, and they want to make love or something like that, man. Because I think, Catteral, I don't think he wanted to commit to his punches, and I think, Eubank, he's just trying to show how athletic he was, and so, I think they should fight again. I think it should be a definite rematch on this fight. That's what I think, because I just think it's a good fight, and I just think it's happened too soon. Cool Tyson impression. Okay, Curtis, Tyson impression. Okay, we need another super chat for Tyson, the Gypsy King. Barry. Let's go. Somebody got to put it up. Put up the impressions for the day. Boom. Okay, here we go. Bill knows boxing. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. So it's Bob and Roy. So Bob and Roy talking. Here we go, guys. I think the fight personally was a bunch of bullshit. I think that Catterall's an old bastard. He's a fraud. He can't punch. And he ain't shit. And he didn't beat our fighter that we believed in, Scottish old fighter that we have. I don't think he's worth a shit. What do you think about it, Roy? Well, personally, I think that both of them were a little too jittery. I think they were both didn't have something to prove, but they couldn't prove it tonight because they didn't do what they needed to do. See, they ain't had what they needed to do because they were too jittery. They needed to calm down and make sure and know who they really was as people. Because as people, as fighters, we know who we supposed to be. But if you get face to face with somebody that you think and not sure that you can whoop, you're gonna be jittery. And I think that's the reason they were jittery, Bob, because that's what it is. So it is what it is, Bob. So I think what you need to do is you need to just give him a break. I think they need to retake it, rerun it back, so we can see who it is. Mostly, hopefully, they can calm down and see who's the best. They've been in the ring with each other. They smell each other's sweat, breath, all that shit. So they need to go back and get with it. Balls. I think Josh Taylor's better than all those cunts. Did I just say cunts? I've been in the UK too long. Well, really, I think that real Josh Taylor, he's a little bit washed up right now too, because he ain't do what he's supposed to do. I think he need to get out of Dodge for his time, because somebody gonna whoop his ass. It's gonna be a crime. Real talk. I think it is. And you know what? We're gonna come in with Andy Ruiz, and he gonna tell us what we feel about what we need to do, he need to do to get real. Well, I think first of all, my praises to God that both guys did what they supposed to do. It came as a good fight. I think that Catteral, he might have hugged a little too much, but then Eubank, I think he did too much of stuff he didn't have any business doing, flipping and turning. That's not boxing. So I think that basically, and we're gonna listen to him right now. I think that's bullshit. He didn't land too many hard punches, just like I landed on AGA. I think he should have stayed and threw punches like he's supposed to. But Catteral was holding like he wanted to make love, just like AJ was holding me. Do a Tommy Hearns impression. Tommy Hearns. Hey, you got to come with the Duckies, bro. Brilliant as always, Kurt. Stop. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. Hey, you guys keep one of them super chats, man. You got to keep it rolling. Let's go. Who's next? Let's get it. Let's get it. Next super chat. Let's go. Let's get it. Nah, it was a unanimous decision for El Gato, Jack Catteral. Jimbo, Catteral won. Okay, I'm waiting. I don't know. It was a pretty close fight. I think Catteral threw and landed the better shots, though, to be fair. Boring and crap, waste of money. Anthony Griffins. Okay. Who wants to hear another impersonation? CJ Rich. Hey, man, hey, it's me, AB. I just think both of these motherfuckers a bunch of pussies. I think all of them can't whoop me because I think Catteral, he don't want none. I try to call him out. I call Uncle Al. Uncle Al say he don't want none. He think he better than me. I tell you, hey, he ain't better than me. It's time to cash checks and have sex over here. So if he wants some, he can get some. But I ain't going to the UK because I know how they do over there in the UK. They feed you fish and chips. They don't pay your ass, and you're gonna get discriminated. You ain't gonna whoop nobody over there on points. You ain't gonna do that. Hey man, see, listen. He need to come to Las Vegas, or he need to come to Ohio, baby. So he need to come where I'm at, so we can do where it's gonna be at. That's what I'm gonna do. That's all I say. I'm gonna whoop him. I whoop his ass. I tear his ass up because I know I beat that boy. I know I beat that boy. I beat him. And Willie, good luck. Oh God. Come on outside. I don't know. Do a Spence impersonation. Um, Spence impersonation. Oh man. Okay. Super chats. Super chats. We need super chats. We need super chats. Marlon Thornell. Hey man, I just think both of them. I whoop both of them. I think Catteral moved a little too much. I chop him down. I stop him really. He ain't really got nothing really for me to worry about. So I stop him about 6 rounds. But a lot of those guys they think they think they good. Everybody really in the welterweight division, they try to be great, but really they ain't on my level. I'd like to show them that I ain't really about you know that business. I only been beat one time, and Terrence beat Canelo. How good that gonna make me? That ain't gonna make me look bad. It's gonna make me look just as good as Canelo. So me and Canelo could get it on. So I think they wanted me to fight Canelo anyway because I was bigger than him, and everybody say I was bigger than Crawford and stuff. So I just think that really that we can make that fight happen too if he want to fight. I don't think he want to ass whooping from us because that's what happened when you fight somebody that actually know how to fight. Khan didn't have no chin, and Jamel he all right, but he ain't an era of Spence, and he definitely ain't a Terry Crawford. So he didn't even know what he had to do what he needed to do. That's all I gotta say. Manny Pacquiao. This is getting fun, isn't it? All right. I think that Catteral, I think it is a good fight. I think Catteral, he is a good fighter. He's southpaw like me. But I think that maybe he should throw more punches. He tried to throw time punches to catch Eubank. He had a good time, but I think he needs to throw more punches because I think he doesn't have the action for the fans. And I think it's better to throw punches, like me. You'll see I throw punches. So like a lot of people throw punches. Beyonce, she liked me throwing punches. She come to my fights, so I like to action. So I think that Catteral he win the fight, but I think he should have won the fight for the fans. And the cut is the bad cut, but things happen in boxing. I do think that they should have rematch because Eubank you never know in fighting because Eubank could have landed a good punch, but it is a good fight. I like the fight. But okay. CRC right. Do oh man. Do wait a minute. Shannon the Cannon. Yeah. We got Shannon the Cannon. Nah. Hell no. Okay, wait. Let's see. People want Shannon. Ooh. Let's go, champ. Let me tell you something, champ. Let me tell you something, champ. Jack Catteral, he fight like a pussy, champ. He needs to really break it to Eubank, champ. Eubank need to come to him too. Eubank was trying, champ. Jack Catteral was holding all night, champ. He was trying to make love, champ. He was trying to hold. He was trying to stay in there, champ. I think he getting old. Let's go, champ. He okay, champ. But I'm gonna tell you, if he get in there with a real live dog, if he get in there with Brian Norman Jr., he gonna be minced meat, refried, cooked, rinse meat, champ, all day, champ. What you say, champ? He's gonna get in there, champ. He's gonna whoop his ass. That's all that's gonna happen. He's gonna get his ass whooped, Atlanta style, like they say in Atlanta, all day long, champ, all day long. Let's go, champ. Rematch, rematch, rematch. Let's go, champ. Yeah, that's Shannon the Cannon, people. Who else? Who else do we want to see commentate on tonight's The Zones fight? Great. Do Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, you got. Hey, you got to come. That's Floyd. Oh, Money Mayweather. How do boxers stay cool in the ring? Do they throw shade with every jab? Nah, nah. Why did the boxer quit? He kept kidding punch. No, Matthew. No, they stopped it. No, the corner stopped. No, the doctor actually stopped it. I don't know if this guy is talking about the fight or just telling jokes. Super chat stopped working. Now that's crazy. It is just jokes. I mean, it's actually both. To be fair, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's a nasty fight. Like, you got a southpaw versus orthodox. You know, you got both guys coming in on the same angle. That's always going to be the case. Always going to be the case. Always. Mayweather Senior, bro, you guys, you have to drop super chats, particularly in impersonation. So who won the fight? Del Osho. It was Jack Catteral. Iron Sentinel, new member in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Check out all the access and extras that I have to offer from Counterpunch Boxing News with millions of views and attendance and thousands of supporters just like yourself. Stay tuned. Love it. Appreciate the support. And I hope you enjoy the monthly posting of members only content. Appreciate you, Iron Sentinel, in the building. Didn't even realize that I wasn't a member. It is good. It's all good, bro. Was it good for the stoppage? Nah, because what people don't understand that they were both cut. They were both cut in the same fucking area, across the eyebrow. A big gash across the eyebrow. It's just a nasty ass brow clash that caused a cut that divided the skin of both fighters. It's just Catteral, his blood was more profusely. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, I think that fight was decent. I mean, it wasn't nothing to write home about. It ain't a freaking Conor Ben versus a Eubank, you know. So, and even that Eubank versus Conor Ben, they're going to do it again. And the word around the street is they're doing it with the same rules. That damn Eddie Hearn boy. And listen, it's up to Chris Eubank if he wants to lose that type of weight. You know, Exactamundo. The fight was utter shite. You're being too kind. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You got to drop super chats, man. Matthew, you got to look. You got to if you guys want an impersonation, drop the super chats. Drop them. No wooden nickels or IOUs, because this is Counterpunch Boxing News. Ha ha! Bars. Well, yeah, the fight of the night is Fias versus Murphy. That was probably the best fight on the card. That was a pretty good damn fight, people. Great. Pretty good fight, man. Pretty good fight. Are you going to watch the Serrano Taylor fight as well as the Shiraz Belonga fight? Absolutely. It's on the same card, right? Yeah, it's going down, man. I got to work. I'll be working, working. Uh huh. Working, working. Uh huh. Working, working. Uh huh. Sorry, guys. Had a little the color purple flashbacks and shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Woodbank, the sheriff, is here. Okay. Matt Abercrombie. Hey, Kurt, how are you? Felt like a close fight. I think there should be a rematch. Well, especially though you got Eubank is undefeated. You know, Kurt, you looking for the Taylor versus Serrano fight next week? I mean, we're gonna get a treat. We're gonna have a treat. So it is what it is. What's your prediction? I don't have a prediction for a fight like that. That's like asking me who you think will win out of Gotti or Ward. And this is their third installment, just like Gotti and Ward. It's just like who cares who wins and who cares who loses, because you know you're going to see a fight. And I think if boxing was more of the winner versus the loser, the decision who fails and who prevails, if it was more of something like that, we would enjoy it more. Because regardless of the outcome, you're going to enjoy the performance. And since you enjoy the performance, nothing else really matters. Ooh, that was a good fight. Instead of, man, oh, someone got their ass whooped. Okay, well, if someone got their ass whooped comes before it was a good fight, then the good fight factor or the excitement factor of the fight itself is not as significant. The only significance is the destination, not the journey. See, we need to worry more about the journey instead of the destination. Because see, the destination of boxing, it's like, what happened to get to this point? If it was a stoppage or if it went the distance, it don't matter. What matters is, what did they do? You know, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the commitment, the training, the energy, the power, the rain, the pain, all of that. What happened in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ooh, 7, ouch, 8, damn, 9, oh my God, 10, 11, oh no, 12, good fight. That's how we supposed to look at boxing. If we can get to that point, we will be better off. We need to switch our mindsets to the entertainment itself, the left hook to the body that made the person, oh! And we seen something happen in that fight. We seen a punch that landed to a fighter that by a fighter that wasn't winning. See, we need to understand these type things when it comes to boxing, bro. Boxing is just totally different. Taylor will probably win again. Maybe. Catteral was running away with it from me. Connor Ben must have been licking his lips ringside. Kurt, where do you think Just Clarissa Shields will go down in history because she's had absolutely no competition down in a career. Unfortunately, it won't be nowhere near my sister. It will be nowhere near my sister. My sister's legacy, my father's legacy, will always be over hers. Clarissa Shields is a hard, brash, shit talking fighter from Flint, Michigan. Shout out to her. She renamed herself the GWOAT, just like the Grand Rapids native Floyd, Money Mayweather, has named himself TBE. You can name yourself anything, but actually to be it. She'll never be the best of all time or the greatest of all time. Maybe she'll be the best of her time, but in women's boxing and men's boxing, you're going to always remember Muhammad Ali. You're going to always remember my sister, okay? You're going to always remember that. So, Clarissa Shields, nah. She will be remembered as one of the best fighters of this era. Because Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali, they will always be remembered the way they're supposed to be remembered. But anyway, back to the impersonations. Iron Sentinel. Um, Eubank is a good fighter, but he lacked patience. He lacked patience and he lacked the ability. Jack Catteral is a fighter, but he's not where he once was. But he is a fighter that has the experience. Because he has the experience, he beat Eubank. No, Eubank didn't win, man. Eubank didn't win. Eubank, he lost to a decision because it went to the scorecards, which that's what it's supposed to be. When it goes past round 4, that's where it's supposed to go. Kurt, curious that you are going to upload a breakdown of prediction of Usyk versus Dubois upcoming rematch. Yeah, I am. Andreas Martin in the building. Eubank Sr. disowning Harlem. I've stayed in New York, but since I've been back, I don't want any part of it. Shields had Marshall, but that's about it. I really like her though. She's got a bit of character about her. But Layla Ali, she will never be, and I think she knows that. Well, I want people to understand something about appeal, marketability. Um, us humans are vain. We're vain as fuck. Let's just face it. We're vain. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Muhammad Ali was more than a boxer, but he was a boxer. Why do you think that really was? Why do you think he was more of a role model that happened to be a boxer versus anything else? He probably was. He said, I'm the greatest of all time. Rumble, young man, rumble. Appeal. Sure, character could have had a lot to do with it, sure. But understand, Muhammad Ali, bro, Muhammad Ali, and he was attractive. Muhammad Ali was attractive. See, if you have people that are attractive, Layla Ali, my sister, my daddy was attractive. My sister's attractive. See, people like to see people that are attractive. It goes a long way. It's called getting by off good looks. But if you're actually able to pull it off and you actually have ability, the rest of the shit kind of puts and falls into place. Now, that's not all you need because you could be a pretty dummy. You could be somebody that looks good, but you're stupid. I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about people with the total package to deliver what they're supposed to deliver and be the person they're supposed to be. So you excel past the profession. See, Muhammad Ali was more than a boxer. So it might have been people that could have beat him in the ring because he's been beaten before in the ring. So what? That didn't stop him from having character. That didn't stop him from being attractive. That didn't stop him from being marketable. That didn't stop any fucking thing. Understand that. So your losses or your flaws don't stop you from becoming, especially when you have the full package. You have more than one box checked, right? That one box that has checked. Well, what happens when you uncheck it? You only have that one box. Muhammad Ali has all the boxes checked. So when a particular situation comes apart and one box is unchecked, you still got all these other boxes that are checked. So you don't lose steam. You still know who Muhammad Ali is. Why do you think guys like Lennox Lewis, why do you think he'll never be as good as AJ? AJ's career ain't over yet. Because AJ knew, hey, I got the gift of gab. I know how to talk to people. You know, I'm not an ugly guy. Chicks love me. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Like, people need to understand when you don't look like a booger wolf and you know how to carry yourself and you know how to speak and then you know how to fight and you know how to actually execute your uh, uh, athleticism, your sport. You know how to carry your sport. You're not going to be stopped. That's the reality of it. Ali had the best trash talking game in the business, but he backed it up. He backed it up, but also you enjoyed listening to Muhammad Ali when he spoke it. See, in order for you to like what you see, you have to admire what you see. And that doesn't have anything to do with this. What's this shit here? The they call that shit the homophobe mindset we have now in 2025. All of a sudden, because Diddy's in jail or Diddy's in custody. I don't give a shit about any of that. You have to be positive about your sexuality to have like conversations like that anyway. And if you're that worried about saying, oh, well, this guy, he's an attractive guy or she's an attractive person, well, something's wrong with you. You know, so no, it's nothing that has anything to do with that. It's about marketability because everybody knows that attractiveness, sex sells. So if you got somebody that's attractive, you know, people are going to listen and pay attention to them over the person that's not. That's the problem. That's why Joe Frazier, as good as he was, I cried when Joe Frazier died, people. He was my dad's age. Uh-huh. But he died. But he was never, and he will never be a Muhammad Ali. And you think that has everything to do with just, you know, sure what happened in Muhammad Ali's life, but the whole package had a lot to do with it. Okay. My wife had me cracking up how Chris Eubank Jr. speaks and how he seems like he could be a homosexual. Too funny. Never even thought of that in any kind of way. You know, like women do that shit too. Women are so homophobic, it's stupid. It's like a black lady in Atlanta. And I say that because Atlanta's like the black Hollywood, and the black Wall Street, but then yet you got senior, not junior. Yeah, that's the whole point. I know who you're talking about, senior. That's crazy. You think junior because he has no children. You could think that faster than you could think anything else. Counterpunch. Some of these guys make money from talking trash. People pay hoping to see them lose. They make money, love to hate them. You know, like Jake Paul. People hate Jake Paul. Yeah, they hate Jake Paul. But no, I just think that all in all, no, I think that people need to understand that some people are going to be more popular than others. So that was a good question about Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields will never be a Layla Ali. You know what I mean? It's not her fault. It's just it's not going to happen. You know, Layla Ali will always be that person over. You remember Layla Ali before Clarissa Shields any day. Jake should go to WWE. That's it. No, Jake ain't doing that shit because even wrestlers don't get that kind of money. I don't know how much money they get, but I don't think they make what boxers make. Yeah, we know he's not, but it was funny how she said it. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true, man. And it's just crazy to see. It's interesting to see people's mindset. The shit's very, very interesting. But I look at it though, you know, it's almost like going somewhere and you come on to a chick and then she don't give you play, and because she don't give you play, she's gay type shit. Nah, she gay anyway. I know she gay. Mm, who says she really is? Maybe she just doesn't want you. Oh, tu machete. Tu machete, ella no gusta. Entonces, ella dice no. Logan already at the WWE. Yeah, he is. I don't think it's possible to have another Ali. He was highly revered in the UK in a similar manner in Mandela, but outside of politics, his boxing resume, in my opinion, is unmatched. Clarissa Shields, nah, just kidding. Let's go with Tony Bellew. Ooh, Tony Bellew. Yeah, yeah. I don't think that. I don't think Catteral. He did a good job, but I think if they rematched again, I think he'll be able to take him to a dark place. I think that Catterall's slowing down a bit. It was kind of how it was when I was fighting Usyk, and I told my wife that I said it was for all the belts, hon. Don't worry about nothing, hon. I will take care of it. He knocked me out. He's the best I ever seen. But Catterall, I think he's a good fighter. Eubank, he should just stay in there. First loss. I know that feeling. It's a hard feeling. Yeah, I tried, dude. Whatever. Yeah, I haven't heard him lately because I didn't hear him lately. But yeah, that's those guys from where is he from? Nottingham. Where's yeah, and they sound like that. It's crazy, and it's good to learn different different because I've never been to England, but I've heard enough English people speak to know they don't sound the fucking same, right? Liverpool, Liverpool. I was watching this show called Top Boy, and it was a guy on there. He was from Liverpool, and you could tell, like, damn, look like Tony Bellew's cousin or something. It's strange how many different accents they have. Yeah, it's crazy, especially from a small place like that has that many people. And then you look at like the UK, you still see. It looks like the UK should look like favelas and shit. People all stacked on top of each other. It's not like that at all. And yet Americans will be like, "Don't you create the language?" Mm, yeah, Usyk made Tony a fan. He did. He did actually, man, and he talked some shit though. I mean, it wasn't nothing that he could really use. There's nothing that he could really use for as fuel for Usyk because Usyk didn't really give him much. Usyk was like quiet. He was, I mean, for one, he didn't speak the language, no way. But I mean, he was him. Usyk may be the Eminem of boxing, bro. It's funny. He likes Eminem. That's crazy. And they're just different people. They study the shit different. Usyk probably studied boxing differently. But here's the thing. Daniel Dubois, if he beats Alexander Usyk, I want people to understand it will be a great honor because he was the only one to do it. Daniel Triple D Dubois. you know, and Scorchers have a reputation for being tough. Scousers? Who's a Scouser? He's a Scouser. What's a Scouser? I don't know what that is. Triple D hasn't got what it takes. We'll see, bro. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll see, bro. It's crazy. So this month is full of videos, of content, of fights, of opportunity. I'm excited about it, man, because these like, especially how boxing is went now, it's kind of like, okay, well, we have David Benavidez versus Yard. We have Usyk versus Dubois. We also have Shiraz versus Bolanga next week. Stevenson versus Cepeda. Um, we have all these fights coming. Hopefully, Hunter versus Pulev next month. So we have a lot of stuff that's coming. We don't know who Joshua's going to fight. But what's a scouser, though? Oh, just a scouser, someone from Liverpool? Okay. You can't surpass Lewis is by beating one guy who's 38. Okay. Let me listen. Lennox Lewis was Lennox Lewis, man. I mean, it is what it is. He's Lennox Lewis is Lennox Lewis. It is what it is, bro. But no, I mean, decent fight. I mean, I'm not just overly pissed off about any of it, to be fair. You know? And is that. If Triple D won, Lewis would be the first to talk it down. Then Fury. Well, I tell you, he fought Usyk at a very old age, and I had retired by then, so I can't tell you how it feels to be 38 and still fighting these live dogs in there. I think Usyk was Usyk at a time, and I think you can't keep that ability up forever. What do you think, Tyson Fury? Oh, I just think they're a bunch of bums. I think I already beat the little white rabbit. I was going to beat him anyway. And, Daniel Dubois, he's a worse stiff, big idiot than Anthony Joshua. And I'll annihilate him and I'll box him. I hope Frank Warren gives me the opportunity because I will whoop him and beat him. But he wants to probably protect a little goat. I call him a little smelly billy goat because he doesn't know anything else. He needs to stay on his mom's tit and stay sucking because he's not worthy to fight with the Gypsy King. Joe Joyce, uh, I think uh, I think it's a good fight. I think that Daniel Dubois he might have what it takes to bite Usyk. I've fought them both, and Usyk's pretty tough in that. He might seem small, but I mean he's a pretty good fighter.
I think he can take punches, and he's taken them already. And maybe he needs to slow down a bit if Daniel has a chance, because Daniel he will come for you, but he's pretty predictable in there. But he might be a little different, and oh, forgot. Holyfield had multiple losses before he fought Lewis, unlike Usyk. The hesitation is you'll forget that shit quick. Yeah, yeah. But hey, Joe Joyce has a win over Danny Dubois. He has a win over Joe Joyce. So you guys say that Joe Joyce should retire, man. I like this. He still has wins over fighters that are still fighting that are on the top today. So if you were Joe Joyce, do you really think that you would want to quit knowing that? Then seeing what Derek Chisora was able to do at his age, you think that Joe Joyce wouldn't be encouraged or influenced or motivated by that? Think about what I'm saying, man. Joe Joyce, everybody talk about, oh, you should retire, this, that. Joe Joyce ain't punch drunk. That motherfucker's been talking the same way since. He's the Keanu Reeves of boxing. Shit, you might find Joe Joyce on a surfboard or some shit. He's just like, today, mate. Like, yeah, I think it's cool. He's just not that dude. You know, it's a good fight. I just want to fight anyone, and I get paid, and I love what I'm doing. Y'all need to leave Joe Joyce alone. Joe Joyce, he whooped somebody's ass. Don't worry. We'll see. Exactly. Dubois was beaten by buffering Joe Joyce. Beating old man Usyk ain't elevating him past Lewis. And Joe Joyce, imagine the age Joe Joyce was. Shit, Joe Joyce was what, 35 years old when he fought Danny Dubois? Danny Dubois was like, what, 23 or some shit? They thought Danny Dubois was going to do all this and all that. Danny Dubois went out and did what he normally accustomed to doing, and it wasn't enough because he didn't have the experience to deal with somebody that was still going to be there once you shot your wad. That's all. That was able to punch you back, but was able to take your onslaught. That's all. So I think people need to remember, like, listen, this is what Joe brings to the table in 2020, but can still give it back to Danny Dubois, and Danny Dubois can't take it. Why do you think Danny Dubois really quit? In closing, why do you think Daniel really quit that fight with Usyk? Because he gave Usyk everything that he felt that he could give Usyk, and Usyk was still there. Danny Dubois to me is kind of like a Fernando Vargas. If he can't knock you out, he pretty much can't beat you unless you don't punch him back. If you can't hit or throw back or give adversity to Danny Dubois, you're not going to win. But if you can do that, anybody and everybody that fought Danny Dubois that did that beat Danny Dubois. Again, if he didn't knock you out, but you showed resistance, Usyk, Joyce, he lost. He mentally was not able to keep up with the idea that all this power that I have, all my training, all my youth, all my all my power jabs, all my combinations, all my pressure, all that shit that I have to offer, all of that, I gave that fighter, and that fighter's still there. I don't even think he could handle that idea. And that's what happens to these offensive, hungry ass fighters. If you're young, dumb, full of cum, what happens when you're out of cum? Come on, bro. Shit, if AJ would have kept getting up And he was, AJ just don't have, I don't think, the durability no more. He might have not ever had it. I think he's not even accustomed to getting hit that hard at 35 years of age, or 34 years of age. Joyce versus Bacali would be nice. Bacali would knock out Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce would give Bacali exactly what he wanted. It's just the style. It's not because I feel that Bacali's just good. No, I feel that the style that Joe Joyce has is a good style for Bacali's style. People understand that. Nothing against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce will just come in, and Bacali's going to come in, chopping. He's just faster, and he's gonna reach. And I don't see Joe. I don't know. Fuck it. Let's see it. We could have seen Zane when he was in his prime. I think Dubois has a messed up eye socket to this day. Joy has messed it up, and Usyk even exposed it in their meeting. You think that's what it is? He hit him in the eye, and because of the eye? Fuck that. I don't believe that shit, because if that been the case, that meant that eye had to be swollen or damaged. I didn't see any evidence of that to even say that's what it was. I think it's like I figured it to be. Danny Dubois can't handle people that also have the gun. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And Daniel's used to having the gun. And in this case, guns. And I think if he fights and punches you and hits you, that's what it is. Dubois is more experienced now, more prepared too. Okay. Let's hope so. Joyce versus Miller would be good. It would be a good fight for both fighters because I don't think they have this hard or knockout element about them. They beat you off of accumulation. Yeah, I would like to see that. Absolutely. I think that would be an entertaining fight, but if Miller, I don't think that would do nothing for Miller, but Miller needs a fucking fight, don't he? All them times he pulled out of them fights. And I'm glad Derek Chisora got in his ass, pause, and told him what was up, and told him, like, listen, man, you've been bullshitting. And then threw him in that American circle. That's bad, because, we don't have too many heavyweights over here in America. So Derek Chisora actually talked the way he talked to Jarrell Miller, the way he narrated it made it seem believable that the Americans don't do nothing but shit talk. So in essence, by perception, he made it true that all the Americans, based on what they've done, ain't done shit. The only person I know that don't talk a lot of shit that actually has ability is Michael Hunter, and he ain't had a fight since the last time he had a fight. I found some new respect for Chisora when he spoke to Miller. I mean, he ain't gonna diss Chisora because Chisora might end up fighting him. Miller, I'm just trying to tell you something about New York's people, New York borough-made people, and bro, they talk a lot of shit. That's how they grew up, just talking shit back and forth. Mama Lou, counterpunch to you. Super Royden Miller would have a good chance against Joe Joyce, but without his sensu begin, he got nothing. Okay, if you say. Miller versus White would be decent. Yeah, but we're not gonna get lucky to see those type of fights. We don't see fights like Miller and White actually make sense, but it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, people. But yeah, man. I mean, the fight was good. Good fight. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad you guys stayed around, stuck around, hung out with me today. We'll go live tomorrow, Sunday, for a reflection of whatever. And you guys have a blessed Saturday or Sunday, depends on where you're at. Of course, please subscribe, like, and share. Become a member. There's a lot over there. Bars. And you guys been counterpunched. Have a great day. God bless. And peace.